Hello. Activity continues. Do. Connected here. Hello. The wall. It's the wall. A frog has been killed.
Ralph, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Nod your head. Turn your microphone on. Ralph, say something. Hello?
Hi.
There you are. What's going on?
Another Sunday.
I'm going to have to turn my settings down, I guess. All right, there we go. Can you hear me now? I'm gonna have to go check something. I will be right back. But I think I got it working. I don't know what was going on, but it's fixed.
I'm gonna turn off my camera. The need bandwidth.
Yeah, you set it to low. Just lower it to low, and it should work. There, audio only. There we go.
Audio only.
Very low. How's that?
It's fixed.
There we go. I'm gonna go check on stuff because I do not know what's going on with my internet.
I'm there.
Kids are playing too many games. I'll be right back.
Watch probably the technical term. In TV land. This hour of the program is brought to you by Toshiba. Wi-Fi. I'm on the phone. I can't even find. I hate this place. This place. It was at home. You can always find something that somebody else did. Anywho, they clear. So they. Mm. My laptop.
Okay, I'm back.
I'm here. Oh, for some reason, I can't get to the Gun Channel's website.
Yeah, my internet's wonky too, so. I don't know, maybe Bob tripped over a LAN cable up in Canada, and that's why I'm getting crap internet right now.
Wow, you live in.
No, I'm joking.
Miami?
No, I live in South Carolina.
Everybody is well. Just listen to Liberty Radio. Or is it RIA or something like that?
Wait, who, what, when, where, why?
I'm proof of life, making noise so people can hear me.
Am I coming in all choppy or Skynetty robot, Tony?
To me, you're coming in a slightly choppy.
Well, that might be you.
Not bad. But Wi-Fi, that is crap. Someday we'll have it out.
Someday you'll have wired internet and you will be all right.
Yeah, like two coke and together.
Wi-Fi is nice for cell phones, but for laptop computers or desktop computers, you know, Wi-Fi is okay for laptops if you're traveling, but for regular use, nuh-uh. You want wire. Just some computing advice.
And also,
right there.
I'm the farthest from the actual has the Wi-Fi in it. You know, the modem.
Yeah,
This is
no. You don't want a combo modem. You want a modem that just does internet, and you want a router that just does routing and Wi-Fi. Don't try and make the modem do routing, Wi-Fi, and be your cable modem. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, that might be what they have. I'm not sure.
Yeah, those suck. Like, they suck ridiculously bad. One of the reasons I own my own modem. Yes, you can buy your own modem and put it on if you have cable internet and put it on your plan and give them their old modem back, and you won't have to pay a rental fee. But that's only if you have cable internet.
Yeah.
I've been doing that for like 10 years.
Oh, sorry.
It saves you a ton of money, trust me.
Uh-huh.
All right, it seems to be better now, cleared up or whatever. Or something.
Yeah.
All right, Ruff. Just keep sending the link out there every so often for people. I got to do some stuff this morning, so I'm just gonna do the same thing Pink does: start up the lobby and then head out.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you later.
How to do that potato chip can and for Wi-Fi. Yes. Yeah. The page because this is bad Wi-Fi. This is day 4. Pay our respects to our sacrifice and some toast, Cuban bread. The coffee. I haven't had any today. There it is. I found. Let's see if I have a laptop.
Wow, your internet is bad. Tony, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so I'm coming in loud and clear.
Yes.
Okay, then it's totally just Ralph's internet. His borrowed Wi-Fi sucks. Because I thought it was me.
No, I can't hear you when I'm listening to the chat, but I hear him.
I'm going to ask. $41, a date that will live for me.
Yeah, it ain't working, Raph. How about now?
I hear you, Knight.
Sorry. This crap.
We're getting every other word with you, Raph.
Technically, bitch. He's expecting high tech on a wheel.
What do you got your bandwidth set on, man? Well, Christ, I wish somebody'd get in.
Yeah, me too.
I got to save this golden voice for Monday through Friday.
Golden?
That sounded good when I thought it. Okay, I got to save this tired ass old voice for Monday through Friday.
Okay, well, then go. Have fun.
No, I'll hang in here until somebody else gets here.
No. You got to save that golden voice. You can't talk to us. Yes, I'm just messing with you, Tony. I'm not being serious.
By this time, and I'm hugely pissed off at our local weather forecasters because evidently they're just fucking guessing. Because for the last 3 or 4 days, they've said tomorrow is supposed to be warm and in the mid 50s and sunny for each consecutive morning. I get up today and it's like 34 and foggy, and now it's like 36 and rainy.
It's cold as balls out here because it's in the mid 60s.
That's all perspective.
Well, I'm not used to, cold weather, okay?
That's what I said. It's all perspective. If it would get to 60 here and sunny, it would be great.
Yeah, that'd be what? T-shirt, shorts, and flip-flop weather for you, right?
It would for certain be t-shirt. I don't ever do flip-flops. As far as shorts go, it has to be really freaking hot before I put on shorts.
Huh. All right. Well, worth a shot.
I actually use my cell phone as a Wi-Fi hotspot. Here's how I get on the internet, and it is pretty shaky sometimes unless I had the bandwidth set all the way to the bottom. I switched back to a percolator, stovetop percolator, a few weeks ago after buying one to go camping with. Man, it makes great coffee, but it is flipping hot.
Well, that's how the Cowboys used to have it.
I mean, make McDonald's blush hot.
McDonald's coffee isn't usually that hot. I don't
Not
notice.
not anymore after they got sued. I've had many, many cups of cowboy coffee. With this percolator, I ain't using a filter at all, just the basket that's in it. I don't mind a little bit of grounds in my coffee.
Are you using any type of filter?
Nope. Nope, just the basket that's in it. I've said it in other chats, but I used to do living history displays, and when we would go out in primitive camp to practice, you just put your tin coffee pot on the fire and get the water boiling and throw a handful of coffee in there. And after it boils for a bit, you just dump a cup of cold water on top of it to push the grounds down and drink it. So grounds are not new to me. But this damn percolator makes the best friggin' coffee, and it doesn't matter much what you put in it. The cheapest Folgers or the higher end stuff, it's all good. I only use Folgers, but I like coffee that's really strong. I like espresso, but I can't drink too much of that because that there's so much caffeine there that it starts interfering with my heart rhythm if I get a little too far out there on the caffeine. The one thing I really like about this percolator is the coffee doesn't get old tasting like if it was sitting in a drip coffee maker for a couple hours. This one's, it can be in there for 3 hours or so and it still tastes fine.
Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, there you go. That sounds good.
Things are better or improving.
It's pretty loud, but it's all in there.
Cool.
Well, it was.
Testing.
It's chopping. It's a little bit better, but it's choppy.
think everybody in Miami is on internet right now. Kids are not watching anything, so I don't know what the deal is. You know, I'm choppy, so I probably am and out of the hangout, just hanging around the lobby page.
You have been defeated by the Wi-Fi. So, Tony,
Yes.
how's Illinois?
What do you mean? How, in what way? Weather, gun control, climate?
Let's just go across the board.
Weather's shitty. Gun control, climate, shitty. But improving, maybe.
So things might be looking up in the veritable future.
They're discussing silencers in committee and our state legislature. I don't know about as we speak because they're probably close for the holidays, but
Yeah,
they were
no.
discussing them.
You maybe something good to come out of it. You know, let's be kind of hopeful. But remember, you guys do have a FOID card, so you may have to get a silencer card.
Well, I technically don't need my Ford card anymore because I have a concealed carry. Most gun
That's
shops, the law says that concealed carry serves the same purpose for buying stuff as the gun card. It's the same damn number.
But the gun card is for people that don't want to carry.
The gun card is the first step. You have to have that son of a bitch to do anything else.
But if you don't renew your gun card, does that mean they take away your carry card?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. So you still need both of them.
Right, but you don't have to carry the void card anymore. I do. And the void renews once every 10 years for $10. The concealed carry is every 5 years, and I think it's $150.
Let's hope that changes.
I'm working on that. I keep writing my elected officials telling them that this is discrimination against the poor.
Well, they're only concerned about the deaths in Chicago and what gives them more publicity.
If they were truly concerned about the deaths in Chicago, they would do something.
No. I don't mean concerned as in the people dying. They're just concerned that you're a statistic they can use to further along their efforts. They don't see the people that vote them in office as actual people. They just see you as a statistic.
Yeah, well, being from downstate, I'm just a revenue source. However, thankfully, we currently have a Republican governor, and if we can get rid of Mike Madigan, we might get something done here.
Maybe. Let's stay hopeful.
Yeah. Well. There ain't much hope other than an act of God or something. You have to excuse me. I'm fixing to do my insulin thing. People here can't seem to get it through their heads that if you want something done, you need to get rid of the roadblocks, not only in the governor's seat, but in the legislature seats too.
Seriously?
Yep. Our last two Democrat governors left office and went to jail. So we finally elected a Republican, but they put the same Democrats back in our local legislature. So ain't shit happening here.
That sounds like fun.
Yep. And then bitch when nothing gets done.
Moral of the story: don't elect Democrats. Elect maybe independents more than Democrats. Elect Republicans, yes. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Republican. I'm saying that because, well, they're not trying to take away your guns. Well, if you want to elect another party, okay, but you better hope that they aren't, Democrats wearing sheep's clothing.
Oh, we get enough Republicans, so-called, in that respect here.
Oh, you've got a lot of rhinos then.
Just look up Mark Kirk.
No, because then I'd have to go and contact whoever's in charge of the party and ask that he be removed from the party.
On his, he's he was, I should say, our representative to the feds from here. And he got the exact same grade as the Democrat, Tammy Duckworth. Both of them got a grade of F from NRA. I voted for the independent, but the Democrat won. But it isn't like she's any worse than the Republican that was running. Illinois, you have the situation where there's counties that will never, ever vote Democratic. So this guy come out as a Republican to get the seat he wanted. And then they keep redrawing the district maps to more favor whoever's in office at the time, which has been Democrats for ever. Probably since Edgar was in office.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Need more coffee.
I understand that one. If you people are out there in the chat, jump freaking in.
All right, I'm back. What I miss?
Not a goddamn thing. Just me telling people jump in if they're listening.
Yeah, Tony can't do this much longer. He's got to save his voice for the Monday through Friday chats.
That's right, because I'm fucking old and I don't have a good voice anymore.
So wait, that means you had a good voice in the first place?
Well, it sure as hell ain't getting better. I'll say that much.
You know I'm only teasing you, right?
It don't bother me none.
Yeah, nothing phases you. That's the sad part. I make jokes and nothing phases you.
Get Hawaii Volcano Squad in here and start ragging on 22s. You want to see me get phased?
Yeah. No,
I promised that I wouldn't do that on the show. So last time it happened, I shut up.
no. See, if I wanted to kill the chat, I would invite Hawaii Volcano Squad in here so we could talk about economic downturn and how the world is going to end and only silver and gold is a viable form of currency. When the fact is, if the world ends, people aren't going to be wanting gold and silver. Yeah, it might be valuable, but people are going to want resources more like food, guns, ammo, because people will want to protect themselves against, I don't know, raiders,
Other people.
yeah. But he says he's got enough ammo, which I don't believe that at all. He needs more ammo.
I try not to dispute that sort of thinking. I mean,
Well, I'm not disputing it. I'm just saying that his thinking is more aligned to just the money aspect. When you can have all the money in the world, if you don't have anything valuable to trade or barter with, other than just metal, you might be up shit's creek.
well, it depends on how far down the freaking rabbit hole we fall too. We go back to real primitive stuff, and precious metals aren't going to be worth much.
And Sean, depending on how things go, liquor and cigarettes will probably always stay the same.
It's a good commodity.
Yeah.
Trade it for bullets.
Yeah, it is a good commodity, but it'll probably hold its value. Yeah, it might go up a little bit or down a little bit depending on the availability and whatnot in a apocalyptic scenario. But if we're talking like a Fallout type scenario, like from the Fallout games, where everybody nukes each other and we get over the whole radiation thing, or we just live through the whole radiation thing, and some areas are irradiated, some aren't. It's just a wasteland. Then, yeah, or if you don't want that, if you don't understand Fallout because you don't play video games, think more like a Mad Max scenario where it's just all desert.
Well, cigarettes will be way more valuable than alcohol because people can always make their own moonshine, but it's pretty
Right.
hard to grow the tobacco, dry it, roll it. Rolling it's not a big deal, but
Drawing, it's not a big deal either because there's I know this from a fact because I learned how to grow tobacco in school.
hard part.
Depending on the type of tobacco, there's several ways to do it. There's flue cured, where basically you
Low temperature bake.
you keep it in a room of which has is heated. You keep it in a heated room, and it just over time it dries. There's also fire baked.
Yeah.
Where they just they put it over a fire, not over a flame, but they put it near a flame and let it let it dry that way. Then there's just regular. You just hang it up into the barn and just wait until it naturally dries like you do laundry.
You just can't grow it after all the fields are nuked, though.
Yeah, it's true.
But then again, you could sneak into like what's left of Lorillard or what's left of Philip Morris, and they've probably got like starter crops in a vault somewhere.
Right. But that's the point.
I got a friend with
Tobacco
starter
products
crops of
will be
purple
like
kush
gold.
in a vault. They were
Why don't we
always
use this as a segue topic to talk about resources you should have in case of an apocalypse scenario?
bullets, primers, brass, press,
Gunpowder.
powder. Absolutely powder.
Food.
Tools,
Food. Canned food.
MREs.
MREs.
I think tools, especially like jewelers' tools, gunsmithing tools, just small kits, things that are easy to pack around. I mean, I'm not saying wheel around your fucking Snap-on master set for rebuilding transmissions or anything. But
Check this out. Dead Horse says, "Damn you, PSA! Item comes back in stock and is out of stock before I can make it to checkout.
holy
They
shit!
must have had just one in because I was on that shit." Dead Horse, that happens to me all the time when I order, computer parts.
Get in here. I have a question for you, Dead Horse.
If you want to, jump in.
Or you can answer it in the text chat. But Midway's been doing these Black Friday sales every day. There's a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday. And they've been putting up AR Stoner kits, lower parts kits, buffer tube kits. And it's like the lower parts kit was $30. And I thought, well, that's a pretty good deal. And then the buffer tube kit was like $29 or something like that. It wasn't bad. But are they worth a shit?
They had a complete AR, pretty reasonable, look like to me.
Yeah. I'm just curious if they're worth a shit.
Hey,
I
Dave.
bought one of those AR Stoner lower parts kits, but I bought mine from Brownells a while ago. I think it was back during Memorial Day, so at the beginning of the summer.
Yeah.
And they had them on sale, I think, for $35 at Brownells back then.
Mhm.
And it's been okay. I only have maybe like 50 rounds through that gun. Basically just function test and sighting in. So I can't really speak of the quality, really, you know what I mean? But it worked. Everything went together okay. The trigger pull's decent. It has about a 6-pound pull, a true mil-spec pull.
Yeah.
So, if I recall, the springs I thought were like pretty good quality. Everything was, looked really nice and clean, and so no complaints. But I can't speak for how good it really is.
But it went together
There's
okay,
no
though.
complaints installing it or anything.
Yeah, maybe I'll give it a shot then. Pun intended. So I got this feed, this thing in my news feed this morning. It was Hillary Clinton is joining the movement to get a recount in Wisconsin. And even
But you
if
conceded.
results,
You
Right.
can't concede and get elected president. It
Exactly.
does not work that way. Once you give up, you fucking give up. You have to campaign again next time.
you're really animated.
You need
this
to read
morning.
that. You need to read closer because it says Hillary Clinton team.
Oh, the whole group of them.
That just means somebody on her team.
It pisses me off. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, Night Strike nailed it. The rules of the conventions and the rules of the election say that as soon as the other side concedes, the election is officially over. You can recount 1,000,000 times, but it's not going to change anything because, like you said, you gave up. Well, you didn't give up. What you did is you've conceded defeat. So you admitted you lost, or you admitted that the other side won. And I mean, that's in the rules. You concede, it's over. I think it was 2000 or 2008 where they had that hanging Chad issue, an absentee ballot issue in Florida, and the what was it, McCain? I think it was during when McCain ran, and it was he didn't concede the election for like 2 days because he wanted to make sure that the recounts were all in before he actually did. I think that election actually did boil down to just Florida.
I can't believe she conceded.
I'm surprised she did it as quickly as she did.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
fact
no
that
kidding.
her campaign people are siding with this whole recount, it just pisses me off. They're not supposed to be doing that. The person that is trying to get elected is the one that should be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, they can try, and all she's doing now is she's stirring the pot for shit starters. It's just what she does.
I don't know what the hell these people are trying to accomplish, because if they get what they want, it's only going to accomplish civil war.
The people without the guns are provoking a civil war against the people with guns. Let them do it. Fuck it.
Nobody accused them of being smart.
Right. Let them do it. If they think that they're going to win somehow, just let them do it. I thought all the stories about California voting for secession or pushing for secession was hilarious, because if I'm not mistaken, the only state in the entire country that's legally allowed to secede is Texas, because it was once its own country. So not even Californians get it.
Utah.
Really?
Yeah, in Utah, because like Utah was ran by like the Mormons before it was ever a state, right?
Right, but it was a territory.
One of the things, yeah. So one of the things when they sent these people here to make Utah basically a state, and they're working out a deal with the Mormons, it's actually written into our like state constitution that if for some reason that we were to ever disagree with the United States of America, we could secede. And you know that the state of Utah could. I can't remember exactly how it's written, but it is written into our state constitution that we can basically say "screw you."
Well, I can just see that
I
argument
think
now.
it might have been a time limit. I think it might have been like something like 10 years, a time limit written into that. But
Oh God, this is going to end badly.
Yeah, they're going to say, well, fuck, if you ain't disagreed by now, shut up.
Right.
Here's the thing.
that was for fear of prosecution and stuff against some of the child molesters and some of the high up like Mormons, and persecution, and like so they were afraid that like we're going to become a state, then all of a sudden they're going to come arrest us all and then try us for being fucking child molesters and all this other stuff. So they were afraid of that. So I think that's the whole, if I recall, that's the whole reason that was written in. But I'm pretty sure there was a time limit of like 10 or 20 years or something, like, or maybe it was even just a couple years. Like basically, if this doesn't work out, we can go back, okay?
Yeah. What about with other territories?
I don't know. I know Texas can. What Sean said, I've always heard that Texas, that it's written in their shit that they can secede if they want. And I don't know about Alaska. Was originally bought from like Russia, right?
Yeah.
Does that mean they can go back to Russia?
So that's what I say. Is that if Alaska ever seceded, would they go back to Russia? Like that's what
Steven Seagal will take it over and be its first emperor.
And then,
no, not emperor. He'll be the czar of Alaska.
Right.
Then I don't know. What about Hawaii? Like Hawaii didn't become a state for that was like one of the last states, right?
Well, it depends on if there's still royalty over there.
Hawaii would not get a president or a king. Hawaii would get a big kahuna.
And then how do they elect him? Like whoever can ride like the best wave or
Thunderdome.
Whoever can ride the best wave in a Thunderdome.
You have to wrestle a tiger shark.
There you go.
See, what it is all applicants have to fight in Thunderdome to the death, and then the last man standing has to fight a tiger shark in a pool.
DeBoer is not allowed.
Yeah, so I started pricing out the parts for reloading 4570, and it looks like the initial layout's going to be $220. But I'll have 500 projectiles and 200 brass. And what else? Oh, and the die set. It's going to be like $220. 4570 brass is 50 cents a piece, basically. 46 if I get brass, but I wanted the nickel-plated ones.
That actually seems pretty cheap.
It's not bad. Considering what a box of 4570 cost, it's not too bad.
what about like 50? If I was going to go through all that to load a large caliber, I'd go like 50, 140.
Well, usually what I like to do is I like to cycle my brass. So when I start with a new caliber, I usually get about 200 rounds just to start. And then by the time I take it to the range, I don't think I burn through 200 rifle rounds, but then again, I might. And then like every paycheck, I'll pick up another box of 50 or 100 or whatever and just keep it going. Like I haven't even cycled my 500 Magnum brass once. I still have, I think, 100 rounds that I haven't fired that are new. But I flip the boxes around, so it's like the oldest stuff always goes to the top of my stack. I gotta be ready to hunt velociraptors by January. I started watching Vikings yesterday too. It's pretty good, I guess.
Oh, to hell with that sword and axe fighting bullshit. That's why I bought.
I kind of like the lore of it so far. I mean, it's essentially, I was hoping it was more Skyrim than it is, but it's not bad.
What the hell was that Viking show that was on AMC?
That might be the
Vikings.
same show.
It was on History Channel, wasn't it?
Yeah, history. It's on Amazon Prime now, so I was like, hey, let me check it out.
Whatever it was, that was a pretty entertaining show.
Did it only last like one season?
According to Amazon Prime, there's 3 full seasons and 2 episodes of a 4th season so far.
Wow. So it's still going. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought they killed it.
It's claimed right now 39 episodes. The thing is, original air of okay. They split they split season 4 into 2 10-episode chunks, just like AMC does. And the second half of season 4 hasn't started yet.
I think I watched a part of the first season. I'm not hugely into the Viking thing, but it was interesting.
Me neither. I just thought the effects and like the makeup and costumes and everything, I thought that would just be interesting because it's not something you normally see on TV, you know.
No, that's true.
So they've got 4570, 20 rounds, $25. It's $1.25 a round. Polymer coated, 405 grain flat nose.
Have you ever
So-
seen a 50, that 50 140 sharps? Have you ever
I
seen
don't
one
think
of
I
those?
have. Let me see if I can find it.
Like they had like some other ones like 4590, there was 45 110. There was a bunch of like Wildcat. Because that was before like they really kind of said, okay, this one's like the best or like the most practical or the most whatever.
Mhm.
But I got to shoot a 50 140 one time. And that thing is like an elephant gun, you know, it is like, and those you can actually like shoot a mile. And you know, that's a gun whose technology is like, you know, well over 100 years old.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, this is like the Quigley gun larger, basically.
Okay. Are any of you guys actually into old, like cowboy, old Western guns, old Winchester, Sharps, stuff like that?
I'm looking at possibly getting some form of lever action with, N44. Was it 40?
Well, without even being into it, are you into like the history or like into the, you know, anything like that? Do you?
I am
kinda.
a bit.
Kinda.
I used to own a 92 and 2520.
Well, I think it was Dano, okay, who asked a question a while back on the front page of Gun Channels, and he was like, basically, okay, who's the, like, what gun was the first gun ever, like, invented to where it had to take in the spin of the earth, the Coriolis effect, right, into account for shooting it? And it was like, his answer was the Paris gun. Okay? But I swear that I read that even long before that, and I'm talking about guns being made in like the 1870s, that some of these like new Sharp rifles and all that, they were having these long distance matches and shooting well beyond 1,000 yards, at 1,400 yards, at a mile. And then I have always heard that whenever you shoot over 1,000 yards, that's where you take the Coriolis effect into account.
Yeah.
That's when shooters start to take that into account. They don't worry about it until they go over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, but back
So
then
you
that was
start
seen as
taking-
like a trick shot. You know,
So if you start taking that into account over 1,000 yards, and there was guys shooting a mile-long shots back in the 1870s, I don't know. Was that Paris gun the real first gun to ever, to really take that Coriolis effect into account?
It
Well-
seems really likely because, I mean, just take something like a 45-70 round. To shoot even 1,600 yards, you have to put 80 yards of elevation, which means you have to hold over 240 feet. Just to go 1,600.
They were definitely, so they had a lot of flight time, and the longer the flight time, the more the Coriolis effect comes into play.
Yeah, I mean, like,
The
basically
Earth
when I...
actually moves from out under the bullet.
I doubt that they were considering it that way, though. I mean, they were
Right.
just
They were just talking about how to arc. Like, I think when the 45-70 was really predominant, I bet somebody out there, like a gunsmith, was like, you know what? I bet I could put volley sights on this thing to make it more useful. Like, even the guy I'm buying my 45-70 off of, he was like, if you want, I could put volley sights on here. And I'm like, really? And he says, yeah, you're going to need them for more than like 600 yards.
Yeah, there's a guy on the History Channel who makes 1 mile shots on a buffalo with just volley sights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
on a
because
steel buffalo target. Did you see that guy?
By the time you
I think
get to
he was
1,500 yards, a 45-70 bullet comes in downward at a 30-degree angle. It's crazy.
Jesus Christ! How has it slowed down to terminal velocity yet?
Well, honestly, though, there's actually a lot of room in the 45-70 because there's a lot of different projectile weights.
Yeah.
And some people, you can, if you have a big beefed up, receiver and bore, and your gun can handle it, you can kind of go, over recommended standard pressures.
Yeah.
Because that one guy on the History Channel, he had to, man. He was shooting a mile, and he was like hitting back-to-back shots at a mile. Just peep sights.
My book basically, or my lineman tells me that when I reload the Marlin, I can use like the middle. There's 3 levels of reloading 45-70. If you have an original, you can only do like, I think 14,000 PSI in the chamber. And then mine can do something like 26,500. But the hot loads for non-Marlin rifles, there's some other maker of these things too. They're like, you can get them up to 45 to 50,000. So, I mean, you're getting closer to 454 Casull pressure almost. But yeah, that would be a screamer.
Yeah, I'll bet if it's on like a 8-pound gun, it's going to be a pleasure to shoot too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't hurt at all. The first one I shot, the guy had I think it's an 18.5-inch barrel, so it's a technically short rifle, and he had one of those limb sabers on it, and it was cake. Like, you didn't feel anything shooting that thing. It had a push, but the limb saber absorbed all of it.
I can remember shooting muzzleloaders, 45 and 50 caliber muzzleloaders, and if you got to pushing the loads up there, 60, 70 grains of powder in them, you'd know it. And they're fairly heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you didn't put limb savers on those. You had that nice brass pointed butt plate.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a couple of boxes of 405 grain just to keep it traditional. But the projectiles I'm gonna use, like I did with my 500, I'm gonna use Rainier plated bullets. I think they're 350 grain, so they'll get down there pretty quickly. They won't be my hunting load; they'll just be my plinking load.
Well, hell, you need to use ACP 230 grains for plinking.
Good, you're awake.
Oh, hang on a sec.
whatever you want, Sean.
Oh, if you don't have a 9, dude, I won't bring it.
No, eight's the. I have like a bunch of ships, but they're all 8 and under. I'm getting
Okay.
close to a 9 though.
That's fine. We'll just make today Taco Tuesday.
Like I have 1 through 8, and like I have several of every tier. I have over 20 ships. So,
You probably have been doing this longer than Foos then.
well, I don't play that much. I just play kind of consistently.
Mhm.
Like I'll hop it on and I'll do like 1 or 2 matches, like quite often.
Even this game has a Black Friday sale. They're doing a year of premium for half off, which is pretty cheap. It's like $45. But since I play this and tanks and airplanes, that's actually worth it for me because I get a premium account in all 3. It carries over.
I hit like 6. I sunk 6 ships with the Colorado yesterday, and I don't even like the Colorado. I always bitch about it. And I went
I
out
call it
there.
the Lolorado because in the beginning, it's a joke. It's so bad in the very beginning, but fully upgraded, it's actually, that's where they start to get decent. The U.S. battleships.
Yeah,
When you get to North Carolina, that is freaking awesome. I still like that better than my Iowa.
I've been trying to concentrate on doing the Japanese ships. I've been really working on those.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm still a destroyer player. I think mostly that's. I have
suck
all.
at 'em. I totally suck at them.
Yep, like whether it's a gunboat, like a Russian, or it's whatever it is, the Japanese, where I'm like in a ninja.
Oh yeah, those kamikazes are crazy. Like if you do a stealth build where you pick like the camo skill, or you put camo on it, and then you pick that concealment skill, and then you put that concealment equipment on it. If you have a high enough destroyer, you can get, I think, within 5 kilometers of something, and they can't see you. It's ridiculous. It's like you'd think the smoke off the stack would, trip their attention. Nope, can't see that either.
I'm just going to catch up to you and kind of go scout for you. Launch off some torpedoes to scare people away. See,
I
the
want
American
to be good at
ships-
cruisers. Like I want to like them, but I'm so bad at them because I play almost all battleships because I like the premise behind them. They're big, slow punching bags. They take a beating, they can give a beating, and they survive, a pretty long time. Whereas this cruiser tricks me into thinking it's a battleship with all its guns. I go in there, let me stab them with my saber, and I just get eradicated. And I'm lit. Someone's already here or nearby.
Like on the American ships, I don't like the American destroyers. I don't even go for like torpedo hits. I use my torpedoes as a deterrent to make them turn, and I just play the gunboat. I'm just
Did
running.
you know about the little white cone when you switch to torpedoes?
But you can make it wide and narrow, or
No. Like when you select torpedoes, right? You see the big
Mhm.
green cone. you're targeting a ship, there's a little white cone inside the green cone. I didn't know about that until a couple of days ago. Like I just wasn't paying attention because I don't play cruisers and destroyers very often. But that little white cone in the green one is like it gives you an estimate on how to lead the ship you're about to shoot at. And if they're going at constant speed and bearing, those torpedoes will hit that guy. Because I used to wonder, I'm like, how the hell are these people so good with their torpedoes? You know, how are they hitting me from like 8 to 10 kilometers out, knowing where I'm going to be? And the first answer was, it's because I'm driving in a straight line at a constant speed so they can lead the target. But then the other thing is they're putting their aimer in that little white cone.
Well, I helped gun down that destroyer. Were you shooting at him with me, or who was shooting at that destroyer with me? Like, we just like wiped that guy out like so quick.
There's a Tashkent to your right. Oh, he detonated. That Bismarck. The one thing I really like about this Takao, 10-kilometer range torpedoes. Bad thing is, I suck with torpedoes.
Oh, I got another destroyer over here. He's fucking with me.
A lot of smoke. This thing doesn't have radar, otherwise I'd light that guy for you. Oh wait, I could just send torpedoes out there. Let's fire them. There.
Oh, he's dead.
I got a second launcher. Why is it not giving me the shot? Oh, there it is. I gotta wait for you to pass by. What the hell?
If
are
you
you
got
reloading? There it is.
I'll
All right, torps out. Don't turn to the left yet. Like, you'll see my torpedoes pass by.
Yep. I see.
The only reason I fire them from way out here is 10-kilometer range. You know, I figured someone will eventually just accidentally sail into one. Yeah, these ARP ships, these cruisers, they're basically just non-premium Atagos, which are nice. I mean, you get, what, 10 guns and...
I have the
fire
Miyoko and the
torpedo
Kuma.
spread. See, you've got two that I
Congo,
don't
I mean,
have.
Congo.
You have the Congo and the Miyoko, which were the first two that they offered. I didn't even know about these events until the second event, and I'm like, oh, I got to get those.
Oh, you see that rune?
Yes,
Oh shit, you see this guy?
he's barely moving too. The Fletcher? Yeah, I see him. Oh, you're eating torpedoes.
I am going to eat torpedoes. But he's going to eat my torpedo. Yeah, I got him.
Nice.
So I helped sink 2 destroyers, and I did sink one. So like I went after I went after all their destroyers, spotted them for everyone. I stayed in that, like I took all that damage, but I was close enough to spot them for everyone else. Like that's how.
Oh, this Neptune's turning into me. God damn it.
So they have like no destroyers left. We still have one.
That's the best thing about, you know, good destroyer players will know what to do like that. They'll take out each other's, you know, eyes basically.
Yep.
This guy insists on turning into me. I'm just trying to get it past him.
The secret is not to go try and be like fucking a hero and do it by yourself. You gotta let your team do that.
Yep, and I gotta go over with this North Carolina, or he's gonna get set on fire a billion times.
That's the total secret, is like to be close enough to your team, your cruisers and stuff, and where they can just light up the destroyers you spot. And then you got to be good enough to kind of dodge, duck, and weave, and you know, like.
Oh, especially in destroyers because they're so damn nimble. which is definitely not. Ow, what the?
I've taken my Tier 4 Japanese destroyer and sunk a Yamato single-handedly, and I'll tell you right now, it takes 12 torpedoes, like at point-blank range in the side of a Yamato, to sink it.
I took 15 in my Iowa once. It was crazy. I got hit by 7, and I blew up because I was already beat up anyway. But then after I blew up, there was a wave of 8 more behind it. And all 8 of those technically would have hit me also. Like they hit the dead hull as it was sinking. Needless to say, I was pissed. I think it was a Molotov that shot them. Or is it the Molotov? It's whatever the Tier 8 one is. The premium one. I thought about buying one. I got to come out here because this North Carolina's getting tore up. Ooh, he's in smoke. I gotta send some torpedoes. Oh, he got. Shit. Alright, there's the first 4. Or 8. Damn it. What the hell is shooting at me?
They don't have any destroyers left, so
It's the Minotaur. God, that thing's got some great guns.
they're accurate.
They're powerful too.
They don't have like that big of a dispersion.
Damn. Shit, I got an extra chat now. I went to bed at freaking 8:30 last night. I don't know what the hell the deal was. Like, I took my old man out and I drank a couple of Belgian beers. That's probably what did it. And then when I got home, I just went straight to bed. And I woke up at 10:30 this morning. Couldn't believe it.
That's a long time, dude.
I was gonna get the Perth yesterday, but the more I just like stared at it for 20 minutes in the port, and I realized it's just another Leander, and I'm like, I don't want that. This battle's gonna be a loss. So Tony, I heard you're gonna do a weekend show. Oh, he's already gone. Man.
Yeah, he was saying something about a weekend show.
Well, it's
Or
either
maybe
him
it
or
was
Night
just on
Strike.
Sunday. I
We
think
can
it
just
might have
have
been
one.
just on Sunday after Liberty Watch Radio or before Liberty Watch or during Liberty Watch.
Yeah. I mean, if Night Strike wants to do a Sunday morning one, I'm down for it. I'm usually here in the morning anyway. I don't do my laundry till after Liberty Watch, so. And all,
Actually, when Liberty Watch is on, that's when I'm like walking around listening to it on my phone and and doing stuff like that, you know.
oh, so you were asking about cowboy action guns earlier. My next purchase is going to be, well, yeah, it's going to be another Spencer 1860 saddle ring carbine, but it's not going to be an original because 5650 good luck finding it and reloading it. So I'm gonna get one of those. I think it's a Cimarron or Key. I think it's Cimarron. They make a pretty much true to life reproduction in 44 Magnum. So that ought to be plenty powerful.
Oh yeah. 44.
They're gorgeous things too. I think I have it shortcutted somewhere.
44 will handle any of that. Like pretty much do whatever you want.
Yeah, they do them in several calibers. It's like I just don't want a 45 Colt version because why? 44 mag would be a little bit quicker. Or maybe it is Chiappa. Oh, it is Chiappa. Okay, I'll put it in the internal. Like their stock photo is gorgeous. The one my dad's got different wood, but it's still pretty decent. His is actually a 5650 too. And he can hardly ever shoot it because he can't get any rounds for it. And I told him I'm not reloading it. It's just not worth the trouble, especially for how little he uses it.
What tier do you want to go to now? Yeah, you got your. Oh, you see, you still got stuff with 100% on it. Like,
oh shit, yeah.
And I have like 2, 3, 4. Like I have low tiers 5, 6, 7, 8.
I can do whatever. I mean, if you want to, usually upper tiers, it's better to play earlier in the day because there's a lot less people who are terrible at this game on. But like, I need to work on. Well, I don't need to, but I don't mind working on this.
What is that?
Tier 7?
7? All right. Let's see.
Yeah. See, I have this one and Gneisenau. Gneisenau is the legit one. Scharnhorst is the premium one. Problem is the Gneisenau is a neutered version of this Scharnhorst. It's got bigger guns, yes, but it has 3 less of them and a longer reload and worse dispersion. So it's really hard to use it. Like some people are good at it, but not me.
Okay, I'm gonna pick the Colorado here.
How far are you from your North Carolina on that?
I'm really close. Like I am within like I think 10,000 experience.
Mhm.
What I need is just more credits.
You've been doing free to play this whole time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like Foos does that too. He can't justify spending money on the game, and I'm like, I get it. The premium account, it gives you like 50% extra everything at the end of the battle. So if you win, you get 50% more credits, 50% more experience. The reason I have all this convert experience up here, which actually isn't that much, it's the most I've ever had, but it's 42,000, is they're getting ready to have an event where you can get a free tier 9 premium. They're going to bring the Missouri into the game. So it's basically a premium Iowa, and it'll have all the benefits of a premium ship. And the caveat is it's going to cost you this convertible experience. 800,000 of it.
I don't know what's going on right now. I'm not frozen.
Oh, did you click the ready button underneath your name?
Well, what it is it's like it's stuck on the Benson still, and it's like it's not letting me select a different ship. But it says that like it's just stuck on the Benson, and I'm not frozen because everything is still. Hold on one second. Let me see here.
It's got that little thing in the middle spinning away.
No. One second. I'm gonna reset this shit.
Sure.
Okay, turn that off. Turn it back on. And then that should make me. Come on. Okay, just open menu. Oh man, I think the game is like froze on me 1 second. This is weird. This has never happened to me before. What the hell? Is it Control Alt? But it's like frozen, but it's not. Okay, wait, there we go. Wait.
Oh, we won that battle. Sweet. I'll take it.
Okay, like look, we even won, and it's still not letting me switch to the.
Even if you hit escape,
Like, okay, I hit escape. Like, this is weird. This has never happened to me. Let me try and.
man, I gave up on trying to get the try your luck super containers because I always end up with 5 flags all the time. And every time I get a super container, all it does is give me 250 gold repair kits, which it's nice, but that's all I've ever gotten 4 times.
I always tried that rule. Like
I just got sick of getting 5 flags every time I did that. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do the credits one because I need the credits anyway. And then you end up getting like credits and then
How many
500
credits did they give
like,
you?
I just got 50k and then like 3 flags and 3 flags. They give you 3 things inside the container if you pick the credits one. If you pick the super container try your luck, you only get 1 box inside the container. It's always 5 flags. I'll probably do it again. I'll put the 5 flags thing in next time. Or the try your luck again. It's like a 1 in a million chance to get it, but you can get the Imperator Nikolai, which is a super overpowered tier 4 Russian battleship. They won't sell it to me, which pisses me off because I could have bought it when it was in the gift shop, but I didn't think I could. I was like, I'll get that later. And now they said they're not going to sell it anymore.
Okay, this game, I think the game is frozen because it won't even let me shut down the game to like restart it. So,
Man, 2016 is ending with a bang. So the joke was that humanity had to sacrifice Florence Henderson to rid the world of Fidel Castro. So that's 2 people who died. And then there was another one yesterday that kicked on. Can't remember who it was now. And then Rob Glass, he died too. So that's 4. Ron Glass from Firefly.
oh yeah,
So he's number
what
4.
did he die of? He didn't
let's
die
see.
of old age, did he? Because he wasn't that.
71.
Oh, I guess he was older than I thought. I thought he was only like 60 or.
Well, he looked good for 71.
Yeah.
Like I took my dad to his and my favorite bar yesterday, and everyone still thinks he's in his early 60s, and he's going to be 81 in 4 days. And they're like, "What's your secret?" And he just kind of points to me and he goes, "He brought me back to alcohol."
Uh,
It doesn't say what he died of.
hopefully, it wasn't something like old. What's his name died of Kung Fu. David Carradine.
Oh, the hanging wank.
That's like an embarrassing way to die, man. It's like.
The worst news I got was, I think, 5 days before Thanksgiving. My friend just got out of the military, and he still lives right outside of Fort Campbell. And that's the one in Tennessee, I think, right? Anyway, he got a phone call in the middle of the day from his mom's boss, who's on the other side of the state. And he was like, "I'm just calling you to let you know that your mom collapsed here at work. And by the time the ambulance was here, she was dead." She was only 51. She had a massive heart attack.
Wow.
I'm like, that's Fucked up. You still have your division invite, right?
It wouldn't let me close the game, so I had to hit restart on my computer. So it's gonna be like another minute. My computer just got done restarting now. So,
You couldn't even end task?
like nothing. I tried that and the game was just like frozen on there. It still let me pick like all sorts of shit, move the little bars and everything, but it wouldn't let me switch ship. The game
Right,
said,
just let me know when you're in. I'll send you an invite. It times out after so long.
and I'm playing on the new laptop. That seems to run a lot smoother than the old one. This game, it's not near as jumpy. But I am having some issues still with the new laptop. I haven't figured out, like, for some reason, whenever I try and just do a wired connection to my modem, it likes to sit there and, like, cut on and off the internet to it.
That's weird.
So I haven't figured out, like, why it's doing that. The Wi-Fi seems to work good. It's probably some driver I have to update.
5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, right? So the guy put next to denial, hashtag not my president. Anger, hashtag Trump protest. Bargaining, hashtag recount 2016. And it says, we are here. And then depression and acceptance are still blank.
Okay.
I might have to save that for one of Matt's chats.
Okay, sorry, I'm back. I had to get my son a light bulb for his room. His light bulb burnt out.
Oh, speak of the devil, look who's here.
I was gonna see how long it took y'all to notice.
Oh,
Been here for 20 minutes.
Lies! No way.
I just got bored and I keep getting messages asking me about fucking Pizzagate. And I'm getting real fucking tired of this bullshit.
Is that the one where the dude, like,
I don't.
smashed a pizza slice into the face of somebody?
It's
You're right.
bullshit's what it is. And I keep getting fucking people leaving shit on the podcasts and all that.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. Like things that involve like little
fucking
kids and shit. Yeah.
It's complete bullshit. It's made up. Some fucking dipshit got on Reddit and started making shit up. Comes from a fucking email about a fundraiser from some dude who was a Hillary Clinton supporter, and they're like, oh, well, if you change this word for this word, and these are code words, and what it means is there's a pizza place in Washington that's running a sex trafficking ring out of their back room. You get fucking idiot. Shut the fuck up. Jesus Christ. How stupid are people? Anybody who believes that's a fucking idiot. It's fucking stupid.
I think you just found your new go fuck yourself video.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Okay, because a guy that runs a pizza joint who happens to own some other businesses in the Washington area wanted to help out with a Hillary Clinton fundraiser. Let's make up shit about his email that has to do with a fucking sex peddling ring for minors, for children. That's the most logical explanation, right? It couldn't just be that that he was fucking a
liberal
Hillary
logic.
supporter. It's that he's running a sex ring out of the back of his pizza place in the middle of Washington, D.C. He's running a sex ring. Yes, that's the most obvious thing. Bunch of fucking stupid shit.
All right,
Stop
let me
sending
reel
me-
you back into some geekdom. I want to ask you something
Okay,
about Star
yes.
Wars. Since I watched them all finally,
Oh, God damn it. That's so
explain to
depressing.
me what Rogue One is supposed to be. This movie,
Okay.
not the sequel to 7, right?
No. Rogue One takes place right before Episode 4, A New Hope. So, you know, at the beginning of A New Hope, in the opening scroll, right, it says that the rebels got a hold, I forget the exact text, but the rebels got a hold of the secret plans to the Empire's new weapon, the Death Star. And it starts out with Princess Leia on board, and she's got the plans, and she's trying to get the plans back to the rebellion, but they were being chased, so she wants to give the plans to Obi-Wan Kenobi because that's where they're close to. So that's why they went to Tatooine, right? Because they were being chased, and that was the closest place. So she needed to get the plans to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and she gives it to R2 and sends him off in that pod, right? Okay, so Rogue One is the story of the rebel, the covert operations force that stole the plans to give them to eventually Princess Leia. So that it's the story of the mission to steal those plans. So it takes place immediately before Episode 4, immediately before the very first Star Wars. That's essentially what it is.
So they're branching out to the side stories to help, I guess, fill in the gaps.
Kind of, yeah. And I guess somebody just thought it would be a cool story. It's less about, it's not about any of the Skywalkers. It's not about the Force. It's not about anything. It's just, this is going to be kind of like, I think what they're doing, they're kind of doing what Marvel did. And I think this is all because, it's all under the Disney umbrella now, which is not every story has to be about this. Every story can like what Marvel does is, Ant-Man was a superhero story that takes place in this Marvel universe, but ideally it was kind of like a heist movie. You know what I mean? Captain America Winter Soldier was kind of like a 70s spy thriller. They take different genres of movies, and they kind of, it's still a superhero movie, but it's a completely different genre than this other movie is. The first Captain America was a World War II movie, and they take these different genres and they put them in. I think that's what they're doing here. Rogue One is a Star Wars movie, but at the same time, it's kind of like a war movie. It's kind of like Dirty Dozen or something like that. It's a group of ragtag, got to go and face off against the big giant empire, and it's kind of more of a war movie. So you're not going to see like lightsabers and people using the Force or any of that kind of stuff. It's just going to be straight up kind of like, yeah. So that's kind of what it's about. I got a very distinct kind of, World War II, resistance type of vibe from it, and that's what I've been hearing a lot from people because it's already out. I mean, there's people that have already seen it, because it comes out in like 3 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks, whatever the hell it is. Yeah. So, right. Yeah, and that's kind of the vibe that they're going with. So yeah, but it's like immediately right before Star Wars: A New Hope. So right before we meet Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker, this is the story that takes place right before that.
You remember the guy? I think he was here in Houston, who had terminal cancer, and he asked the Make-A-Wish Foundation to come over to his house and let him watch Episode 7 because he was going to die before it came out.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah.
Don't you think he's sort of pissed off right now if he's, like, oh God damn it, there's another one.
Yeah. Well, no, because I mean, yeah. Yeah, is he still alive? I don't remember.
No, he did die before.
He did? Okay. Yeah. Well, they did didn't that happen with Phantom Menace too?
Mm-hmm.
Or did it really happen with Phantom? I remember there's a movie. What's that movie called? Fanboys. You ever see the movie Fanboys?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so look, you should. I mean, I don't know where you would find it. It's a good movie. It was written. Crap, I can't remember. I mean, it was after the 3 movies came out. It was after the Phantom Menace and all that. I think it came out in like 2009 or something. I can't remember when it was, but it was the story it's a story that's supposed to take place back in 1999, where it's a group of friends who've been Star Wars fans their whole life, and they find out that George Lucas is doing the new trilogy starting with Phantom Menace, and it's, there's going to be the prequels and all that stuff. And one of their friends is dying, and he's not going to get to see it before he dies. He finds out he had cancer or something. And so the whole movie is them traveling across country to try and break into Skywalker Ranch to steal a copy of the movie so that he can see it before he dies. And it's a good movie. It's funny. If you like Star Wars, you like that movie. But I can't remember. It's called Fanboys. I don't know when. IMDb it or something. And
They like kidnap somebody and go in the van or something.
yeah, they got the van, and they I remember they kidnap one of the friends doesn't want to go.
They break
And
into George Lucas's mansion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up here real quick. Let's see. Fanboys. Yeah, 2009 Fanboys, and yeah, it's got a bunch of people. If you watch the movie, he's got a bunch of people in it. So, like Seth Rogen pops up in it, and a bunch of other people. But anyway, yeah, it's funny. It's a good movie. Every Star Wars fan should see it.
Oh, are you caught up on Westworld too?
Me? Yeah, hell yeah.
So let me ask you something. Did you ever see the original movie?
Yeah, that's been a long time ago, but yeah.
Okay, so Yul Brynner was basically the machine that went kind of rogue, right?
Yeah, he's the one that, yeah.
Did it
Kinda.
surprise you at all that Maeve is that character essentially?
No.
She is though, right?
I guess. I mean, they're not doing kind of like, oh, well, here is our version of that character. Because I still think that this takes place in the same world. I think this takes place just, like 30 years after the original, when that happened. Because first of all, there's two clues. That one is in the very first episode, they make a reference. They say, because they're talking about, who was it? I forget which host it was, but they talk about somebody was having problems and having issues, and then they go, well, we haven't had any problems in the park for over 30 years. The last time something happened.
Oh, you think that's an homage to the original?
Yeah, and then they also 2 episodes ago, when he's walking through that like repair room or whatever it is, and in the background you see a host just standing there like up against the wall.
Yeah.
And it's clearly Yul Brynner's character from that movie. It's clearly that character that went rogue from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The face is kind of blurred out because it's supposed to kind of be in the background, and so the camera doesn't focus on it, but it's clearly him. It's got it's dressed the same way. It's a bald guy with the black hat and everything. It's clearly the same character, and it's just him kind of standing up against the wall in this room where Ford is. Kind of like it's, like, oh, this is, he saved that one and has him down there in his laboratory or whatever. So I think it's same Westworld, same everything. It's just, the movie took place when the park was still fairly new, had just opened up, and this is, 3-4 decades later, and things have evolved, and because they make references back, when they talk about the old hosts, and when they show the old hosts, like the ones he's got that are like copies of his family sitting in the house, when it shows them and he like opens up their face and all that, that looks a lot more like what the old West, that movie, what they look like in the movie. So I think it's all takes place in the same world. It's just further on down the line.
Or at least a
kid is him
reimagining
too,
of
right?
that world, for sure.
Wait, what?
The little kid is Ford.
Yeah, the little kid's Ford. Yeah.
But the other thing is when Ford is with that kind of crappy cowboy robot in the basement, you see his hands, and he has like jacked up hands, which in the movie are the like original tell that they're androids and not actual people.
Yeah.
Oh, the storyteller one.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be like a copy of Wild Bill or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, probably. So, but there's also, it's not exactly the same as the movie if you look at how they're portraying like what's going on, especially if you're up on the multiple timeline theory, right? Which is, in the movie, the park itself is called Delos, and Westworld is basically like one of the lands within Delos, right? You have medieval land and Roman land and
Future
Westworld.
World and all that.
Yeah. So, but I think what's happening in the show is in the time when William and the douchebag brother-in-law, who are basically kind of reimaginings of the duo who are in the movie, the James Brolin
Kind of, yeah.
and the and the other guy. If you look at them, they're there on behalf of their company who's looking to buy the park. I think the company they're there on behalf of is Delos. And in the current day storyline with older Ford and where the Norwegian chick just got killed, is Delos already owns the company. There's Delos
I think they're the
branding
board.
on.
Yeah,
They're the board that already owns it. So I think while they're taking bits and pieces from the movie and it's definitely reimagining, it's not exactly the same universe, but they are kind of going with the same time frame.
Enough that they could justify that at one point that happened.
Exactly. There's a Yul Brynner robot in the corner.
Yeah, that's why he's down there in his little laboratory as kind of just a trophy or whatever, kind of a reminder or whatever.
Right.
So it wouldn't be exact, but something similar to that happened, and that character did go off the rails and that kind of thing. I'm still trying to figure out the whole timeline thing because I think
there's at least 3. I figured out a third timeline, and we can go into that if you want, but
there's all kinds of shit. Because I mean, there's nothing that says in the most current timeline in the whatever the newest timeline is that Ford is even still Ford. Because didn't we just talk about this yesterday?
Yeah, he could totally be an android.
Yeah, he could be an android, and there could be, and you were talking about how there can be the whole thing where, they've learned how to transfer their consciousness, and that's kind of the point,
That's very Ghost in the Shell like.
Yeah, and so Ford, the one timeline, Ford could be, he found the center of the maze. He figured it out, and that's not even the same Ford. It's him. He is a host now. It's just he's got his consciousness. And so, I mean, I don't know, man. It's confusing.
Ford has even said basically in his right, and that's where, if you look at the writers of the show, right, the Nolan and whatever Nolan's wife is, right, they're very deep and complex story writers. So far, what we've been shown of Ford of just he's a bad guy and he abuses robots is too simplistic, right? And so what, like in the last 2 episodes with Bernard that they've really shown is that he does believe that the robots and the androids are the same. He doesn't care. Right, because he basically told Bernard, "What's the difference between human consciousness and you guys?" And it's like, it's just a made-up fairy tale. We tell ourselves that we're special, and it's just evolutionary dressing. We're all the same in terms of consciousness and capability. So that would give credence to the fact that he don't care, and he would be fine living as an android. He don't think there's a difference.
Yeah,
how soon did you realize Bernard was one?
Oh, like 5 episodes ago. Because it only makes sense if he's okay. So. This is what I was going to get to, that there has to be a third timeline, which is when Bernard is talking to, what's her name? The blonde chick, the main android chick who's like the...
Dolores.
Dolores, thank you. When he's talking with her, he's in that secret basement lab, right, in the box, and he has her dressed. Okay, so he's in a secret basement lab, but he didn't know of any secret basement labs in the current timeline where he just killed the itchy lady. And so if that's true, then he has to be in some other timeline. And so if he's in some other timeline, then talking to Dolores, then it's way back. And he has Dolores dressed. And so that gets me to my theory, which is he is Arnold. Because in some of the earlier episodes, Ford was telling Bernard that Arnold began to not be able to tell the difference between basically the hosts and reality, and he was dressing them and treating them like they were human. In that scene, he has her dressed. And that's the only time in the entire show when we see a host in analysis mode dressed.
Yeah. And that would make sense too, because why Bernard? Why is he the one he keeps around and has him? Because unless we find out later on that Ford's got all that, a lot of the people we know are hosts and we just didn't know it. But if you go on the assumption that the Bernard's the only one that he's got running around, not just playing host, but that he's the one that's working with everybody else that doesn't know he's a host. That not only is just. He's beyond a host because he's actually there working with the humans, working with the people that run the park. Yeah, and he's none of the other hosts we assume have that level of freedom and are that high up in the food chain when it comes to the company and all that kind of stuff. So what's special about him? Why did Ford choose him? Well, it would make sense if he is based on Arnold. You know,
Right, and he
that's where
said
it's
Arnold had a tragedy with his children, and Bernard has the same backstory with a dead child. And if you want to ultimate mindfuck, which I didn't want, this totally I think spoils this theory. On one of the subreddits the other day, someone did it. Bernard Lowe, which is his name, is an anagram of Arnold whatever.
Well, there you go.
I think it's gonna. I think it could be. We could also. Although, what if? Because they said they want to run this for 5 seasons. What if in the end they're all hosts?
Dude, they Matrix the shit out of it or something.
Just fucking go straight, just whatever. But I think it'd be cool if we keep going. Like it starts to become very very BSG, right? Like,
that's what I think.
It's all about who's who. You know, because in Battlestar Galactica it was
who's a Cylon.
Who's a Cylon? We don't know, and they fucking took 4 seasons to. You know, it took 4 seasons over the course of 5 years before you finally, it was the last half of the last season, you found out who that last Cylon was.
Well, we still don't know who Wyatt is, right? We still know jack shit about Wyatt.
Yeah, we haven't even. Well, you did see him, like, or if what's his face? What's his name? The other
Teddy.
host, Teddy. If we, because we were basically seeing his memories as he was. Yep. So if we've seen what he looks like in that one thing where he was remembering as he was rolling through the town, just slaughtering everybody. Which that kind of, to me, took some of the mystery out. Because at first we're like, okay, why? You know, if we hadn't seen Wyatt yet, we could sit there and say, well, maybe Wyatt's Arnold, or a host clone of Arnold, or this or that, or we don't know. Who is Wyatt, but we've clearly seen him already. The first time they mention him, when he's implanting those memories into him, you see who Wyatt is.
I don't think it fits thematically that Wyatt is Arnold. I know I've seen a lot of theories on that, but
yeah, that's what I've seen too.
What I've been seeing doesn't make sense because in if you look at it, Arnold created the maze and put basically like the treasure inside the maze, whatever this treasure is, whatever it's worth getting to. In the show, though, right? Ford has created the storyline of Wyatt. Yeah. I think Ford is trying to keep people from getting to what Arnold placed. And one credence to that is that when Ford it's a maze. He knows of the maze because the bad cult that follows Wyatt are minotaurs. If you look at what they are, they wear bull horns.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they're minotaurs from like the Greek mythology.
So he created Wyatt to protect it. To keep people from the center of the maze.
Yeah.
Including the hosts. So he's not, and he, in fact, probably more so than people, he doesn't want the hosts to get to the center of the maze.
Exactly. He doesn't want his little kingdom destroyed.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Who's Ed Harris supposed to be? Because like in the very beginning of the show, I thought he was supposed to be Yul Brynner, but it's obvious
that's what I thought too. But as time goes on, I think maybe he's not. But I mean, I kind of feel like he is. I kind of feel like it's like what you were talking about yesterday. Because at first I was dead set. I was like, okay, that's Ed Harris when he's young. That's where this comes from and all that kind of stuff.
I still think it is. I have some theories on this. Go first.
I kind of hope it is because I want to see that evolution of the character. You see where he starts. You see.
I think it's like a Rick, right? Like a Rick where he starts as a good man and you see how far you can drive him bad.
So I want that to be the case. I still hope it is, but I'm not as confident as I was at first. So we'll see. I'm hoping at least that gets answered by the end of this season. I
think they dropped enough Easter eggs that it is, though. I think that's what goes on, right? Here's my theory of the timelines, is that he is there with the douchebag brother-in-law, and Dolores is is patient zero or whatever in that timeline, the first host to reach consciousness. And that's what you're seeing in their timeline, is the story of the first host becoming human. Right, and after that, other hosts may reach that, like Maeve, but she's the first one. That's why she's special. So then,
yeah, because it says she's the one that's the oldest in the part. Now, it doesn't say. I mean, then this is if you tie it back to the movies, which I don't think we have to. I don't think you need to, and I don't think they ever really will. But if you tie it into the movie, then does that mean she? Because they say she's the oldest and she's the first one to gain consciousness. So either it means that she did it before Yul Brynner's character did, or Yul Brynner's character never actually reached consciousness. He just kind of went crazy.
Yeah, in the movie, they don't really reach consciousness. They have some breakdown in their programming, and the reason the movie was given so much credit for being ahead of its time was because it was the first instance in like anywhere ever where somebody had come up with the idea of a self-replicating, damaging computer program, a virus.
No.
So that was like before even like people wrote viruses. Like Michael Crichton dreamed up the idea of a computer virus that made these robots malfunction.
Gee, thanks,
So
Michael
not that
Crichton,
they were,
you
not
asshole.
that they, right? He gave all the douchebags the idea. So I think that's where the movie is different from the show. Is the movie didn't necessarily touch on consciousness. It was just malfunctioning robots.
Yeah. Well, they tried to. I mean, when the show starts, they try to make it seem like that. Well, because they at first they talked about the program. Remember, they said everybody that you entered this new program or you did this update to, those are the ones we're having problems with.
But it's not the case, I don't think, because they didn't pull
But
Maeve.
they make it seem like in the first few episodes like that's what was causing it. But then maybe it's a little bit of both, because maybe it's they gain consciousness because they retain their memories, and maybe it's not that the program is a virus that it caused it. Like it's the one causing them to malfunction.
I think
maybe,
it's just like
maybe what it's
accelerating
causing is
the
the
process.
malfunction it's causing is that it's allowing them to remember, which in turn those memories are leading to them gaining consciousness. So it's kind of like
what Bernard said in the other episode to the
so they could maybe if they did tie in the old movies, it wasn't that there was this program going through that was infecting them kind of like a virus. It's that program going through them was helping them to remember, and they mistook it for a virus,
right?
But it wasn't really a virus. It's kind of the same thing that's happening now, which is it's just letting them evolve. It's giving them their memories back, and they're evolving, and they're gaining consciousness. Whereas before, they were able to just block them from those memories. They were able to wipe them out or block them from those memories, and that kept them from becoming self-aware. It kept them from gaining consciousness because they never remembered all the old stuff.
Yep.
I don't know, or maybe I'm just way too overthinking this right now.
No, I think that's about on too, and that's where like the Yul Brynner character in the movie holds a grudge against the guy and chases him down, right? And that's basically in essence why the robot started killing in the show. Was like May or what's the other hooker who they lobotomized? She was holding a grudge. Clementine.
Yeah, I can't remember who they just replaced.
So
who was it? Somebody was asking, "Do you think she'll be back?" I'm like, no. I mean, unless Maeve goes in and
they
has those guys completely. They basically destroyed her brain, right?
They lobotomized Dolores' father, and now the guy's reprogramming him to smuggle him out.
Yeah, but it would never be the same. They would never. He won't ever come back with those old memories.
No. I think you're right on that. But
now they could bring her body back.
The body will be back.
But she'd be a completely new host. She'd be completely different.
And I think Maeve might try and do that, right? And that's
true. She could try and do that just because she remembers, she wants her friend back. She just wouldn't be the same person anymore. She'd be all new. She'd, from scratch, be a fresh start. So, but Maeve might want that. She might not care. She'd be like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yep. That's where I think it's going. But my theory with at least two timelines, with the William and Dolores timeline, is that in that timeline, he just got married to the brother.
No, not yet.
They're not married.
He's talking about he'll get married when
he gets back.
Oh, okay.
When he gets back.
Well, right. So, and the Ed Harris, Man in Black, was talking about how his wife, it was like kind of like a loveless marriage situation. He's a titan of industry in the real world. She ends up killing herself. So what I think happens is he actually falls in love with Dolores in this timeline, in the early timeline. And then
he has to go back anyway.
He has to go back to the real world. He's got to marry the chick. Over the course of whatever, he basically ends up owning the company. His company does all this crazy shit, I'm sure, cures disease and whatnot. He ends up owning Westworld. He owns Delos. That's why in the earlier episode, they were like, that host or that guest gets whatever he wants because he owns the place. He can blow it up if he wants.
So his brother-in-law is going to die then.
You would think. You think so because they made it. It's the brother-in-law's company, or at least their family's company.
Yeah,
so how does he end up running the company if it's not his family's company? Unless the brother dies, and so he's the one left that takes over. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I got from it.
Yeah. So my theory is that in the current timeline, the Man in Black is William. His wife is dead now. He's got nothing left to lose, and in the center of the maze, he knows that Arnold built this consciousness transfer machine. So
wait, you're saying you're saying Ed Harris is William?
Yes, and his goal is to go reach the center of the maze, transfer his consciousness into a host, be a robot with Dolores, live
So
happily
the
ever
young
after in
William
the park.
is what? Fake?
No, the young William is in an earlier timeline. It's 30 years earlier. You can't tell because the robots are immortal and ageless.
Yeah, but I mean, are they actually overlapping, alternating timelines in this story, or is it just
Like,
these guys
almost
are
for
trying
sure.
to explain each other?
If you look at the Easter eggs that people have pointed out, it's almost for sure they're overlapping timelines. They're different timelines. The biggest hint is the Westworld logo changes between the two timelines. One a more old-timey, and then a more modern, computer-looky Westworld logo. It changes between the two storylines, down to even such fine details as if you zoom in when Dolores drops the can of condensed milk between the old time and the new time, the printing is different on the can of condensed milk. And
Ooh.
in a more
Ooh.
general sense, if you watch the episode like 1 and 2, right? Episode 1, the like easy teaser quest that they try and get everybody to go on is to go find the bandit in the hills. When William and the brother-in-law show up, the easy teaser quest is to go fight the Civil War that they're pitching in the center of town.
So
Even though it's a
all her
repeating loop every day.
flashbacks. You know when they went to that town that
Yep.
Ford is building with the buried church, and she had like memories of everything that happened in there. Like it looked like that was the beta town because they were still
Yes.
teaching behaviors and how to dance.
That was
and
like
everything,
that was like in the time before they even opened the park, and Arnold and Ford were still working together, and they built her. They might have fought over her. She may have been the first one to reach consciousness even then,
So you're visualizing that this show is running off of 3 timelines.
or 4.
God, that'd be a mind fuck.
Is
Well,
that
what
is that
happens when we
basically
find out it's more?
there's at least 3 timelines. There's Bernard is Arnold early in the park's history, like right when they're like making the robots. Dolores is like the first robot. She starts to reach consciousness, which will be a constant sore subject between Arnold and Ford. And something happens and Arnold dies. Ford turns Bernard into an android and keeps using him because he needs his brilliance. So he androidifies Arnold. Meanwhile,
I got another question.
Yeah.
Another question. To interrupt here. I remember the conversation when Ed Harris' character talks to Ford, and he brings up the whole, Arnold was going to blow this place up, and he would have if it wouldn't have been for me.
Yep.
So, do we think that's something we're going to see, like while Williams with Dolores, like it's happening right now? Like that's
There's
the
a whole
story.
bunch of nitroglycerin floating around that motherfucker. So
Yeah, and he doesn't say whether he means literally blow it up or just figuratively. So I don't know, but I mean, just in general, what would you think we'll see? If this trip with William right now that he's in right now, where he's with Dolores and they're trying to figure stuff out, do we think this is the time he's talking about? If that is him when he's younger, is this the time he's talking about? As far as
it definitely could be.
as far as he was going to do something. We don't know what, but he was going to do something, and William stopped it.
Here's the other thing that I'm not sure of is if Arnold is Bernard as an android, Bernard is kind of a slave to Ford. I think that like real Arnold, or like that part that's rebelling or fighting against Ford, still exists and is floating around the park somehow. Right? Like the young android Ford kills the dog. Ford doesn't have him do that. That's something that Arnold did. Right? So there's still this consciousness of Arnold floating around the park too. So yeah, I think that you can definitely see them somehow stop Arnold from destroying the park. And young William may want him to, would probably want to stop that because Dolores is there and he wants to save his love Dolores. So in the old timeline, he sides with Ford. And that's how he knows Ford in the current timeline is the man in black in the bar.
That makes sense.
That's the theory anyway. That's my personal theory. Now
I
the
also
question is like,
think
what's
we
up with
won't-
Teddy? And here's the big question that I have seen no Easter eggs and no clues and no answers to, which is if we take these timelines, right, then there's one big hanging loose end, which is in the Man in Black late timeline. He rapes Dolores, then leaves her, then she resets and goes the next day. They change out her dad, they lobotomize him, then they come and they redo the evening murder story, right? and she draws the gun out of the hay, and it's the part where she doesn't cock the hammer, and it's bullshit. But let's ignore that. Stick with the story, and she kills the guy and has that kind of flashback to the Man in Black raping her, and then she runs off into the bush, and we don't see her. And you assume she gets found by William off by the river when they're on their little story. But if that's really an old story, then she ran off into nowhere, and we haven't seen her since.
How are they going to sell revealing alternate timelines to the audience that's watching the show, though? I mean, you're talking about, oh, we're going to, the viewer's going to be like, oh, no, this is just, this is happening here and this is happening here. And they're not going to mesh that well.
Well, I think that's going to be the mind fuck. Is there end of season 1, they're going to reveal this alternate timeline. They may even wrap up William's early story, the Man in Black's young story, and kind of tie that twist
he's
up.
Them.
I think there's a good chance there's a lot they leave hanging, and they only answer a few questions, like the fact, like if there's one thing I think, if we're right about William being Ed Harris's character when he's young, I think that would be the one thing they tie up going into
exactly.
the season.
But that would give you all
just telling you this is him, but then we still haven't found Arnold yet. There's still a lot of other loose ends. We still don't. Maeve's story doesn't finish, but they'll reveal that one thing so that now okay, 2 timelines going into season 2. We now know there's going to be at least 2 timelines, and we move forward. I think that's the one thing, if it's true, that we will find out by the end of the season.
Okay, so hold on. Raph just said something in the side chat, which I'll get to in a second. But I totally agree with that, and I think they'll do that from a marketing and strategic standpoint, because that'll give everybody who hasn't watched the first season or whatever all the break to go rewatch the first season and understand the mind fuck of the timelines, and then catch up. They have to reveal that at a point where people can go catch up and not be lost.
That's a lot for the audience to take in.
The Nolans don't give the Nolans have always written really deep movies and TV shows, right? I mean, look at Inception. How much of a mind fuck is that show? That's
I do like the complicated nature of it, though. I mean, that means they're finally no longer insulting the intelligence of the audience. They're giving you a show that forces you to think.
Yeah. So, Raph put in the side chat here that the Man in Black doesn't actually care about Dolores because he dragged her around and he rapes her in the barn. I don't think that's true. I think he understands more about the robot, about the androids, and how they really work.
He explained why he did it, though.
Yeah, I think that's a calculated move to make her remember.
Well, you remember when he killed Maeve's, before Maeve was the madam, he killed her daughter, and he explained that. He was like, I went to this house, and I did this heinous thing just to see if I could do it. Remember, he actually explained that. And then now, like you're saying, he did the same thing to Dolores because
I don't think that's the
he's
case.
Tripping their memories doing this.
Well, yeah, I think that's probably, yeah, you're right. So he discovered how he could trip memories even when they don't have the Reveries program. He figured how he could trip that by basically causing terrible enough trauma, right? Murdering the child in front of Maeve, tripped her memories even beyond what the program would normally let her do. So I think he went and he purposely raped Dolores to trip her memories so that she remembers him, because she won't remember him from 30 years ago, right? He wants her to remember that they're in love and all that. So he had to trip her memories.
Teddy remembered, and he technically wasn't directly affected. I mean, he saw it happen, but it didn't happen to him, and he still remembered.
Yeah. So I think that's a calculated move on his part. I don't think he was just getting in the first episode. We think he's just a devious son of a bitch getting his jollies off, and I think that again is too shallow a explanation for a Nolan.
I thought
TV
he was
show.
Yul Brynner in the beginning.
In the very first 3 episodes, I thought he was the Yul Brynner, an android gone rogue, for sure.
Well, the whole theory from the very beginning, just from the previews, was that he was going to be that guy. He was going to be the guy, the Man in Black or whatever, because that's what everybody thought rolling into this, because the way the trailers were put together.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a rope for sure.
I think right now, the only thing we can say for sure is there are at least 2 timelines. We know there's at least 2.
At least 2.
Because Maeve is in one by herself. The timeline she's in, because we've seen her go day after day after day after day and learning more and more and remembering more and more and more and more. Whereas William and Dolores, they're a few days in. Where we're at with the Man in Black, where he's gotten hooked up with Teddy, they're a few days in. We don't know if those two timelines are separate. We're assuming they are, but we definitely know they are not on the same timeline as Maeve.
Really, you think so? I think the Man in Black is on the same timeline as Maeve.
Well, he could be, but I'm saying her whole story, the story we've had from
Her
her
story
from the
could be
beginning,
totally separate. It doesn't matter really where the
her
Man in Black
story.
is.
That's what I'm saying. But her story, now maybe where she ends up falls in line with Ed Harris's character. You know what I mean? But that where her story started, I mean, it's been, I mean, who knows how many days or weeks or months her story has been since the season started. We know she's doing her own story wherever that is, and where she ends up, who knows?
Well, that's why these multiple timelines are so hard. There's not many landmarks to tell when you're in the park because it's a loop, right? So it's really impossible to tell in a lot of these cases. But yeah, I think you're totally right, though. At the end of the season, we're not going to get a whole lot of answers. It's going to be a lot of speculation and maybe one reveal. You know, I think the reveal that Bernard is really an android is all we're going to get. We're not going to get any hints as to whether he's Arnold or not. So I think that was one of their big reveals for the season. But yeah, I'm curious to see where they go with the whole Maeve storyline, because it doesn't directly tie into anybody else at all at this point. It doesn't tie into William or Ford or Teddy or any of them, right?
She, as far as I'm concerned, she's the best character on the show. She's got the most interesting storyline right now. Yeah, because I want to see where she goes. I mean, she's basically, it's kind of like watching, it's kind of a stereotypical, somebody gains powers. It's kind of like a Carrie type of story or something. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of how they're setting her up. She's getting stronger and stronger.
She's going to exact her revenge.
Powers, and now she's in control of their hosts, and we want to see where her story goes. How strong is she going to get? How self-aware is she going to become? Is she going to escape? Is she going to get away? What's she going to do? Is she going to kill somebody?
Well, here's the thing that really interests me is when they were talking about her intellect level, and they can go up to 20, but like a 14 is equivalent to human intellect, and then she cranked it to max. Right?
I thought she took 14.
No, she was already at 14.
She started at 14
because she was management, and that's almost. They said that was like almost like on par with human intellect, but that the hosts could go up to an intellect of 20. Basically, they have such processor power they could even be smarter than people. So I want to know what she's really planning, because obviously her plan didn't just go to shit last episode. She's smarter than that, right? Maybe I'm overreading into that.
We'll know more tonight.
Well, I mean, she's definitely smarter than that, but there is that issue where she's still having problems. I mean, she's having these memories and these flashbacks that are screwing her up. So she's going to make mistakes.
But I think if she could make mistakes, but if she has a plan, remember Ford wipes her memory of her daughter, and she doesn't want that. I think if there's anybody who, because I'm pretty sure with this whole fucking story, Ford's got to die, right? I mean, fucker's got to go at some point in the show, right? He's earned it. Maybe he comes back as an android or something like that, but human Ford is going to get offed at some point, right? My theory is it's going to be Maeve, and it's going to be like a fuck you for basically erasing my own memories of my daughter, right? She was like, don't, it's all the pain is all I have left. And he's like, sorry, erase your memory.
Yeah, you don't need this feeling.
Yep. So I think that getting captured was part of her plan because she knows that'll take her straight to Ford for analysis.
So what's in the center of the maze?
The conscious transfer machine is my theory. Turn you into an android, live forever.
Oh, that's a good one.
Especially, and then the other thing that has me interested is Ford has that android printing machine in the basement, right? Yeah. Which works slower but can still make a perfectly fine android in just a few more days. So presumably that android printing machine has no rules. Like the other one has rules, like you can't hurt anybody, you can't do this, you can't do that. They have like bombs in their chest that will explode if they try and leave the park, that sort of crap. Presumably the Ford printing machine has no rules. He can do whatever the hell he wants. It's probably how he made Bernard, right? It's almost obviously how he made Bernard because the Bernard...
Probably how he made his own body.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is...
he found the center of the maze and transferred his consciousness into a host so he can live forever.
Right?
That's what I think.
And then he can be his little god in his little empire for forever, ruling over them and taking away their memories and doing whatever he pleases. So that, but then there's a whole bunch unanswered, and I don't think we even have enough information to speculate. Like, what the hell is the town? I think that was the beta site town, but why is he redigging it up? And what is his whole storyline that he's building? What does that have to do with anything? I mean, it started with Wyatt, but we have no information on Wyatt. We have no information on any other details of this storyline. And it's like taking up like a third of the park's resources or something, they said. So this place is massive. So this new storyline must be just extraordinarily massive.
And then they pan out from space a picture of Earth, and it says Earth World.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah.
I still
Men in
say
Black
there's
style.
nothing. I mean, because somebody asked me the other day, is like, well, do you think that there's going to be like a Roman world or a future world or anything like that? And my first response was, well, Ford created everything, so more than likely not, because he's always there at Westworld. That seems to be his focal point. He doesn't talk about anything else. He doesn't do anything else. But if Westworld was just the first, and Ford and what's his face?
Arnold,
thank you, created that, and then Arnold disappeared and all this other stuff happened, and then you've got that company that steps in, all that. Maybe there are other worlds. It's just that's where Ford is, because that's the one he created. And then the board came in, took the technology, and started doing other worlds. Ford doesn't care about them.
like Euro Disney, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so my question is, they've said multiple times now that basically the board can give a dick about the park. They want the intellectual property that the park is generating.
They want
What
the
do we
tech.
think that is for? What is that?
They want to create super soldiers.
That's what I was thinking was the obvious, like, just make, like,
Military.
a military, Android military, perfectly controllable, super durable. But is that too obvious? Is there something else there? I don't know.
No, I think every once in a while they're going to have to throw something cliche in there. If you make it overly complicated, they're going to lose viewers just because they don't get it.
That's true.
You got to throw them a ham bone every once in a while and just be like, "Gnaw on this, you fucking neophyte."
It's a good thing that Sean doesn't write TV shows. I feel like we get Barney and Friends sing-alongs.
Oh, hell no. I would write into The Walking Dead, an arc where they actually stay on task for a change instead of just being repetitive. I would do that.
Yeah, I don't know about Walking Dead. Sometimes it's brilliant, and then other times it's ridiculous.
Wait, I stepped away for a second. What about Walking
I
Dead?
read a really harsh criticism of The Walking Dead. They're like, "Oh, look, it's sort of like playing MMORPGs. It's like, oh, look, there's a safe spot. Let's go to safe spot. Oh, got to defend safe spot. Lost it. Let's go to the next safe spot. Repeat a million times."
No, maybe, but that's the story. I mean, what they're doing now, it's the original story. It's from the comic. That's how they wrote it. They're just they're in general just following, that idea. And I mean, in the end,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. And there's we've all sat here on Monday nights, in the past, and bitched about, oh, that episode was slow, or that episode was this, or it was predictable, or blah blah blah, whatever, right? And that's fine. But in the end, and I think Fear the Walking Dead has helped me realize this, it's still one of the best shows on TV. And I think the reason we bitch about it is because it's so good, and we expect it to be good.
Our standards are way up there.
I try to kind of bring myself back down to realistic expectations of, I mean, it's weird. It's weird because I don't do that with other shows.
Just want Kirkman to soften his stance on the idea that they're never going to get to DC and figure out some way to cure them or to stop the spread of the plague or whatever.
They're not going to. Okay, so Kirkman has already said comic-wise, and I think comic-wise it makes perfect sense. And in the comics, Rick has like a whole fucking monologue about it, what the end of Walking Dead is. And the end of Walking Dead is people don't give a shit about zombies anymore because they're rebuilding. Society is rebuilding. There's not going to be like a magic cure where they go and like inoculate themselves and no one can get zombified. It's just society has rebuilt, and getting stabbed in the head when you die is just sort of a fact of life. Other than
That's
that,
a very
they spread
Warm Bodies type ending, though.
and they clear out the most of the dead out of all the cities, and they start to rebuild, and You know, it's really a story about Rick and how far can you push Rick to be a bad man, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the beginning was man versus zombies, and then it turned into man versus environment, and then it's so far now it's man versus his fellow man.
Exactly,
Man
and
against
Rick,
humanity to man. That's
Yeah,
that's what
and-
it's boiled down to, and that's what it was always intended to be.
Right.
From the beginning, Kirkman said that that's what it was intended to be. The idea, and he says it. I think he either says it or I can't remember where it was, but from the very beginning, The Walking Dead does not refer to the zombies; it refers to the people.
Yeah.
It's all about them. It's all about what people are capable of doing and the kind of things they care about and all that kind of stuff when faced with this apocalyptic ending and the rules have changed and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to see a cure. I don't want to see any of that. I honestly,
I want zombies.
I don't know that I even want to see a real legitimate end.
no, the end of
You know what I
Walking
mean?
Dead will be real simple. It will be Rick dies because it's the story of Rick,
Yeah.
right? And it'll be like
And-
Carl
and I
may be
kinda-
in charge of the community or Carol or whoever, right?
Rick dies is like a Fallout 3 ending, though, isn't it?
But it's the story of Rick. So how do you end the story of Rick? You kill him.
Yeah, no, well, Kirkman's already said that. The story ends when Rick dies. He said that in the comics before there was even a TV show. He's like, this story will end when we kill off Rick. Because this story is completely 100% about him. He is the focal point of this story. We follow him throughout his journey in this new world. That's it. It starts when he wakes up from the coma, and it ends when he dies. That is the evolution of this story. And so, it has to end when he dies. It's just a matter of what's going on in the world around him when that time comes. Is it when he's an old man and everything's all happy and great and everything's good? I don't know that I want that. That's not what I want from this story. It would feel out of a happy ending, or even a somewhat happy ending would feel out of place, I think. Now, I don't want a horrible ending, but I want an ending where there's still a lot to do. There's still a lot going on. We've lost a lot of people along the way, but there's still some people alive. Maybe you leave some hope open with Carl and Judith or whatever, but he dies, and he dies in a way that's heroic, that, is maybe a little bit of a sacrifice. And you can end with, it's not a happy ending, but you can end with, well, there's still hope. You know what I mean? There's still hope for the other characters we've left behind.
Yeah.
But I don't want just a happy ending. Everything's good now. That doesn't fit the tone of the story.
Well, the tone of the story, right, is that Rick has gotten progressively more jaded and more willing to compromise the moral value for the pragmatic value, right? So I think the ending of the story will be Rick takes it back one step, where he makes, he progressively makes more pragmatic decisions that come at the expense of people and at what his morals would have been at the very beginning of the show, which is kind of what he's progressively doing, right? And I think the end of the show will be he has to sacrifice himself and he dies, but he does that in a way which takes it back a step, where he makes a people-oriented decision.
Yeah, makes sense.
Are you separating brass?
I'm pulling it out of the tumbler, 9 mil. It's an unmistakable noise.
Yep. Usually when I do that, you can hear the sound of steel bearings sliding out of the casing into a bucket.
I'm just using corn cob media right now. I haven't gotten to wet, so it's more dirty than anything.
Oh yeah.
Although
Yeah, I
I do
actually
wash
have
them
one
in
of
soap and
those.
water first. So
I got one of those little 2-bin rock tumblers from Harbor Freight. I've been using it for 2 years now. I just stick that shit in the bathroom right next to the bathtub.
yep, that would be the way to do it. I got like this whole kit of crap, and part of it came with the tumbler, so I'm just using the dry tumbler for now. And I just wash them in soap and water in a 5-gallon bucket outside first to get most of the grime out, and then just polish them up in here. And then in a few minutes we'll be depriming, so it's all good. I have a question, since you're here and you're a reloader. How much do you bell the case mouth to get the round in? I don't want
Just
to,
enough for it to fit.
like, should it kind of get sit down in there pretty far, or does it kind of sit on top on the inside?
As long as it sits on top level.
Okay. That's my next step. First time belling the case mounts.
It's not hard. If it's new brass, well, 9mm won't be that bad, but like with new brass at large calibers, you need torque.
Yeah, I'm just doing once fired 9mm from the range, so hopefully not too bad.
You know, it'd be cool if somebody out there would do a reloading chat, like maybe on a Saturday afternoon or something. That'd be pretty good. Somebody should think about doing that.
Where's Foos when you need him?
All right, well, I'm out, guys. I got some stuff I gotta go take care of.
Have a good one.
We'll, see y'all tomorrow night.
Oh, you're out in no man's land. You can get tore up. Shit. Just abandon C. Just leave it. Too many of them.
So, Sean, is there any other Westworld theories you've heard or you've got? Because I've been dying to talk about Westworld to people. We never get to it on Monday nights.
Not exactly. I mean, it was mainly just impressions. Like when the show first started, I was like, oh, Ed Harris is going to be Yul Brynner. That's cool. And then obviously it wasn't. And then I see the way Maeve has evolved, and I thought, oh, she's the Yul Brynner. I get it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I didn't know about Bernard being what do they call those things?
Host?
Host, yeah. I didn't think Bernard was a host until he actually killed Teresa. I'm like, holy shit.
And I love the way they did that scene where she was like, what about this door? And he's like, what door? Like totally retarded. I like how they did that scene a lot.
Like, what do you see here? Nothing of value. I was like, oh, shit, okay.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love the fact that they got Anthony Hopkins to play Ford, too. He does this brilliant gentleman psychopath so well. He is typecast, but fuck it.
Well, he does it well, so I'm not going to complain. Right? I'm just afraid of how old Anthony Hopkins is. Like, if they're going to go five, he's like pushing 80, right? Like,
not Ian McKellen or anything.
That's true. Still a little afraid. I'm like, just don't die, dude. Finish your show. Finish your show.
Right.
Like, Ed Harris looks like he's in fine enough health. That's fine.
So did he admit to Teresa before she died that he killed him? He killed Ford? Or sorry, he killed Arnold?
You know, he monologued a bit, but I don't see anything there that was an out-and-out admission. I mean, he said, like, it's not the first time they've had a blood sacrifice sort of thing. I'm like, does that mean Arnold? Did he kill Arnold for sure then?
Yeah, because he always talks about Arnold in front of Bernard.
Yes.
That happens, like, all the damn time. So your theory that he might be Arnold's consciousness, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think what happened, my theory is that somehow, you know, he kills Arnold or whatever goes on with Arnold. They have a consciousness transfer machine. And I think that Ford either transfers part of Arnold's consciousness into Bernard to help him keep writing the part because he's not good enough to do it alone. And Arnold, part of his consciousness survives somewhere else, right? But then I don't get, like, what's going to go on Bernard. Is Bernard straight up Arnold, or is he just an Arnold facsimile, and there's an Arnold somewhere else that we haven't met yet? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe that's he's in the middle.
Yeah, that's the part I'm not sure about. But, I mean, we've seen multiple points, though, right? Like, the hosts, when they go crazy, they start talking to Arnold. And then the Dolores, right? When Ford questions her in the current timeline, for sure, maybe not for sure, probably in the current timeline, he asks her have you talked to him? And she's like, no, I haven't talked to him in 30 years, 5 days, whatever. And then when he leaves, she's like, I didn't tell him anything, Arnold. So I think that is a reference back to Bernard, because in Bernard's in the basement talks with her where she's clothed, right? He says, don't tell anybody about our talks. Have you told anybody? Right? And then Ford asks her, have you talked to Arnold? And she says, no. And then he leaves and she goes, Arnold, I didn't tell him about our talks. I think that confirms that Bernard is Arnold in some way.
It's going to be good.
They're gonna like have some revelations in the last 2 episodes. It's gonna make us go rewatch the whole damn season again with like a pen and paper.
Oh, they need that woman who's on Talking Dead all the time.
I don't watch Talking Dead. I haven't watched anything with Chris Hardwick since G4 TV.
She's a panelist on Talking. He actually does a really good job on that show, but he has a panelist that always comes on or tweets or anything like that. She carries a notebook with all her theories of the show.
Nice.
Some of them make a lot of sense too. I mean, you could tell she's incredibly analytical when she watches it.
Well, some people get really into it, right? And they find little Easter eggs that no one else did, and then you see it and you're like, damn it, I wish I'd seen that first. That's the kind of stuff that annoys the hell out of me, that I don't catch that shit.
I haven't watched The Walking Dead in the last 3 or 4 seasons, okay? Mm-hmm. But I got a question. Is Lilith still alive?
Judith.
Or Judith, yeah.
Maybe.
Is Judith still alive?
Yes.
Okay, so Judith, my theory has always been Judith is going to be the cure. They're going to get Judith to DC, and some doctor's going to be like, oh, your mom turned into a zombie while giving birth to you. She'll get bit and not turn or something like that, right? And
well, no, because her son cut the baby out while she was still alive. She wasn't even bit yet.
Yeah, but somehow how the mothers created some kind of antibody for the baby, when she was bit, started creating an antibody. And it absorbed into the baby, right? So the baby's going to be the cure. That's always been my theory. Is Judith is going to be the cure for the zombie thing.
There was a Clive Owen movie like that.
Children of Men.
Is that the one?
Yeah, where they're women can't have babies, and then he finds the one woman who's
they're
pregnant.
all sterile or something.
Yeah,
that's the same. That's a very seldom used principle. I guess that would work. I don't know. I want to see DC. I want to see a DC wasteland, sort of like Fallout style, and some progress. They don't have to cure it. They just have to identify it,
Well, I'm really sad they never made the prequel they were planning. That always pissed me off.
Wasn't that what Fear the Walking Dead is supposed to evolve into?
Well, it was supposed to be more... Well, okay, that's what they sold Fear the Walking Dead, but then I just think Fear the Walking Dead turned into Walking Dead LA, like CSI style. But they had in the first episode, when Rick gets in the tank and he shoots the walker in the head and rings his ears, that guy is apparently some actor. I'd have to go back and watch and figure out who it was. And their plan was to have a mini-series prequel event that shows the fall in the city and shit going sideways, and it ends with him turning into a zombie, dying in the tank, and then you get that closure and that tie-in because then Rick shoots him in the head in the first episode of The Walking Dead. That was apparently a plan they had, and then they never followed through with it. And then they kind of went into this Fear the Walking Dead bullshit, which I keep saying whenever we start a new season of Fear the Walking Dead and Yankee or Matt or whoever are talking about it, just look at the Fear the Walking Dead ratings, and they go down like a freaking stone every month with each season drops another notch.
Ruben Blades has to come back somehow.
Yeah. Only good character.
Speaking of him, I saw the Hands of Stone movie the other day, where the biography of Roberto Duran, he's in that, and almost all his music is in that too. It was awesome.
Is it on Netflix or where is it?
Where did I see that? Oh, the DVD's already out. I'll check the internal real quick.
Gotcha.
Admit, you don't look overly cold. You are definitely snuggled up, though.
No, it's reasonable. I'll probably get colder as I sit outside longer. How y'all doing?
Well, there won't be a Guess That Gun today.
I know.
You're in the clear.
Oh, it's definitely warmer than yesterday. It's like 61. It was 49 yesterday at this time. Yeah. No, I'm just looking at the numbers for my last. I started a Facebook page in addition to my Facebook group, and then, sure enough, a few days later there was a defensive shooting. So I made a post supporting the defensive shooting and urging everyone to share it and shit to, just let the powers that be known that we don't want this guy crucified.
Mhm.
And it reached more than 26,000 people so far, which I don't know what to compare it to. But the page itself only has like less than. It has 417 likes, so percentage-wise, that post got around. I don't know. And I'm only looking at a target audience of probably 3-4 million people in Israel on Facebook, maybe less. So
You got. See, and you're a Destroyer player, so that's funny.
Yeah, I pretty much took that guy out though. He just did a kamikaze on me and right at me with torpedoes. Like, have a nice day.
I gave him 8 barrels all into the side all at once.
interesting.
Oh, I don't think I put enough lead on this guy. Shit.
What reticle are you using, man?
Oh, this?
Is that from the mod pack or what?
Yeah, it's called Crab Reticle. The reason I use it is because of the ley lines, so that way I can sort of measure my target. Because before I got this, I was terrible at this game, and I was like a 41% win rate player. I couldn't hit anything. I didn't know how to lead the target because I couldn't make out the stock reticle. So I started jumping around on YouTube, and this guy who created that mod did a video on how to use it. And he was like, battleships is half the amount of numbers on your horizontal line. Cruisers are usually equal. So if that guy was 5 seconds out, I'd put it right about there and fire. But he's too far range-wise out. And then destroyers is double the number. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty useful. And instantly, I had instant results. They got 2 carriers. Look. Shit. Waiting on the guns. This thing is slow. Someone's mouse is right on top of their laptop.
Like, we're definitely I don't know. We're already down a carrier. Like, yeah, like we.
Oh, they're both dead. Oh, they're both about to be.
Like everyone went to C.
Because you told them to.
No, I was like, I said there was people already going to C. Like, you got to stick together. You can't split. You can't go like A and C because then
But you
that's
can't
like
all
when
go
you
to one.
destroy.
Actually, on a map like this, you can. You go to A and C, and then you collapse B. But it has to be an even distribution too. This is definitely going to be a loss.
See, like how I would play this map is I would send just like 1 or 2 destroyers to like go up and cap C and just shoot torpedoes because 1 or 2 destroyers can like fend off like an entire fleet, right? And turn them around with torpedoes and shit. So they go up and they cap C. Like our main fleet just charges straight to B, white constant, and then like because you know they're not all going to go to B, so you only end up like running into a couple ships at B, and your main fleet's there, so you wipe those couple ships out like real fast. And then the enemies is pretty much there'll be a couple stragglers maybe at C, and then the bulk of the enemy's force would have been down at A. And then you just like yeah. And but then we would already be ahead.
This Chester's about to have a really bad day. I'm about to have a really bad day. I can hear those torpedoes coming. Fuck. I got stitched.
I hate playing the low tier ships like this when there's aircraft carriers in the game because like my tier 3, I don't even think it has AA. Like,
well, the good
at
thing
all.
is at low tier, the burst damage of those torpedoes are really not that bad. Like if this was any other tier, I'd be dead.
Well, you just got hit by like what 3 torpedoes and only took half your life.
I got hit by about 5 or 6.
Oh my god!
Who the hell keeps lobbing shit over the island? Shit, I'm gonna be neutered without 3 guns because I have to wait. Fuck again? What the fuck? That's my own teammate.
Your own teammates shooting you?
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Is he typing shit in the side chat or something? Like what? Did he accidentally bump into him?
No, he was probably having tunnel vision on this Wyoming. Motherfucker. And he just turned pink, which means this isn't the first time he's done this. Oh well.
You gotta love teammates.
That's the problem with some of these games. It's like I always have to remind myself that we're playing with kids.
Did you take his kill? Did you steal his kill?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he was staring, down in sniper view, and he saw that Wyoming. He was like looking right at it, and then he fired the torpedoes, and he's like, "Oh shit!" Yeah, there's only one ship in this game that has 0 AA, and I have it. And it's terrible.
Let's see. Is my favorite? Oh god, like yeah. What's the range on this? 0.4 kilometers. Like, shit.
It's like they have to be right on top of you. Actually, give me a few. I'm gonna go make lunch real quick. I'm kind of hungry.
Oh.
Be right back.
So Amit,
Huh?
did you guys catch those forest fire starting guys, those arsonists?
They caught some people. I don't know if they caught all of them or if the people they caught are actually the people who did it. You never know. Like before, uh, until they present the evidence and go to court. But we'll see. They caught some people. They're 100% sure that it was malicious, but they don't. You know, I'm holding my judgment on whether the people they have in custody are actually the people who did it until I see the conviction. Because that's how things should be done. You know? But the fires are out mostly, so and the weather's changing. The humidity is up, and it's going to rain tomorrow. I mean, the number one problem is it's fucking dry and very windy, so it's a perfect time for arsonists to.
Now, did it show? Now, did anyone die of that?
False alarm.
Well, actually, no one died, which is kind of amazing considering that about almost 500 homes and apartments were burnt to the point that they can't be people can't go back to their houses. Like there are still 1,600 homeless people as of now. So considering that, the fact that no one died is kind of a tribute to how fast the police and fire department got shit done. There were hundreds of people that like inhaled smoke and stuff, but no one got killed, which is good.
You talking about the Haifa fires?
Yeah, I'm specifically talking about the Haifa fires, but no one died in any of the fires. It wasn't only Haifa. I mean,
There was like 5 others fires started. I read.
Well, actually, there were like 900 fires in Israel over the last week, and the police said that they're working under the assumption that about half of those were started maliciously. So we're talking about 400 and something, but most of them were probably very small and contained easily. The Haifa thing was a lot more sophisticated than that. I mean, it was perfectly timed. Actually, it wasn't perfectly timed. It was almost perfectly timed. The weather conditions, everything was perfect for it. The time of day, if you actually want to kill people, assuming that they did want to kill people, which I can't imagine someone setting fire to a fucking city is,
without
not
the
interested.
Right.
Yeah. Because they started the fire during the workday, and the areas that got burned are mostly residential. People just weren't at home, so.
See, that's where they screwed up. They should have did it like 2 a.m.
Yeah. Definitely, but don't get in the way of your.
Let's not encourage them.
No, they learn from their mistakes, whether I point them out or not. Trust me. I doubt that they can repeat this achievement. This people are saying it's like a few guys organized. Yeah, I don't buy that shit. No, somebody had a good plan, because the way they did it, I mean, they started. The first fire was right next to the central fire station. And then within half an hour or an hour, there were another 4 fires started inside the city, in different areas. That tells me somebody gave some tactical consideration to what he's doing, and probably his idea was, okay, I'm going to get all the firemen pretty much stuck in their fire station because they're putting out the fire there, right?
Mm.
And then I'm gonna fuck up the entire city, because you can't respond to 4 or 5 major fires at the same time. There's just not the resources for it. And Israel doesn't have large firefighting capabilities, because frankly, fires aren't really an issue in Israel mostly. Like house fires don't happen here because our houses are made from concrete, so they don't really burn that well. That's why. So I mean, comparatively, like considering the fact that these fires happened in highly dense urban environments. I mean, nobody got killed in the house, and not that many houses were completely destroyed simply because. I mean, if you set the house that I'm talking to you from on fire, I mean, stuff would burn, but the house won't burn down because it can't. It's not flammable.
It would all be superficial damage because the majority of the house is stone and concrete and everything.
Yeah, it's concrete bricks. So basically, I mean, you can destroy the furniture. You can destroy the. You'd have to repaint it. You might have to rewire the electricity, but you're not gonna lose the frame of the house.
I got a buddy in Mexico that says the same thing. He laughs about the way we build our houses here in the States. He was like, yeah, man, we build the foundation on bedrock. He was like, there is no foundation cracks in Mexico.
Yeah.
And the walls are like 3 times thicker and the roofs are twice as thick.
Yeah.
He's like, we build houses to last.
Yeah, but I mean, everything has an advantage. First of all, the U.S. has a lot more wood than Israel, so it makes perfect sense to build houses from wood. And the other thing is, houses are much cheaper in the U.S. because of the way you build them. Houses are probably, I mean, one of the reasons is the construction standards, but houses in Israel are probably 4 or 5 times as expensive. So,
for the same size.
Yeah. I mean, there are other concerns like the amount of land. We just don't have a lot of land, but what the fuck is that? Wait, I don't know. Some fucking beeping noise. I don't know if it's someone's house alarm or something, but can't tell. So yeah, it's kind of harder to burn houses here. Our houses are pretty. I mean, they're pretty well built. They got modern houses all have bomb shelters in them. So, I mean, like the house I'm moving to, the house I bought is steel reinforced concrete, all of it. Because those specific houses were built in case there is an actual war here and artillery lands. The houses are basically can be used as shelter from artillery. So, that house is not going down for anything. It's not. It's basically everything proof. If you want to really go crazy, you can put steel, blast protected windows and doors, and basically your whole house is bomb proof. I'm not going to do that because fuck that. That's very expensive. Yeah, and I don't need it. I mean, I'd like one room to be, because sometimes people shoot rockets at us. Not here so much, but in other parts of the country, and it might happen here as well. But yeah, But I'm going to Haifa tomorrow, and I'm kind of afraid to go there just to see, because I kind of like that city. I lived there for 3-4 years, and I've seen some air photography, and it's pretty fucking terrible. It was a really nice city. There were just pine trees. It's like a city in the forest. That's the other problem, that it's a city full of pine trees, and pine trees burn like motherfuckers.
Yeah, they explode too.
Yeah, and they explode and spread the fire around. That's That's the problem. But I think a lot of them are gone. Probably. It's kind of sad. I'm gonna have a little disaster tour. I'm gonna go in the morning. I'm gonna get a haircut. I'm gonna get a little disaster tour. I'll go to my old workplace to see some people there because they're like, "Oh, you never come to visit anymore." I'm like, "Yeah, because I live an hour and a half away. What, you think I'm gonna pop by for coffee?" But I'm gonna pop by for coffee and then I'll go to class because I still have classes once a week. Hang on, I gotta put. Yeah, it's chilly. I gotta put some longer and warmer
Shit,
underwear.
here in the States, some of us commute to work an hour and a half, man. Like,
Yeah.
what's an hour and a half? Like, is that like metric time?
Metric time.
No,
What's that in American?
Yeah, like,
I'm sorry that your commute is horribly long and terrible, but that doesn't mean that I should suffer.
My commute is 20 minutes
Yeah, 20 minutes is reasonable.
in traffic.
I could do 45 minutes, but an hour and a half is ridiculous. That means if you start your work at 8, you have to leave home at 6:30. You finish work at 4, and you get home at 5:30. Screw that. No, hell no. That's way too much time. I mean, I realize some people don't have a choice, but this is a very small country. So, I mean, driving from one end to the other of Israel is like a 6.5 hours thing. So,
I didn't even think it'd be that long. Like, I
Well,
thought
you
it'd be
can't-
more like a 2-hour thing.
nah. Well, if you do the width, it's 2 hours, but if you do the length, I mean, the length is probably 400 and something miles. You're not driving straight through, you know. Yeah, I don't know. An hour and a half every morning, I'd kill myself. Shit, I gotta put some long underwear on and get this gun off of me. I came home. I came home from a walk at like 4.5 hours ago, and I was like too lazy to take the gun off. So I was like, "Nah, I'll just keep it on." But it's starting to bother me. Finish this cancer stick, and I'll do that. I'm really amazed by the performance of this post. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what like major pages get in terms of reach, but the fact that something that I wrote reached now almost 27,000 people, that's ridiculous. And it's gotten nothing but positive. Like nobody, I got no angry comments of like, what the fuck you're talking about, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. So it makes me very optimistic about the future of self-defense in this country.
That guy stole my line. Fucker.
Which guy?
This dude in Gneisenau hit me from 20 kilometers out, and I'm in the Pensacola, which is one gigantic fucking citadel. I got citadel twice and just blew up. He was like,
Yeah.
from downtown. I was like, fuck. My line.
I could never.
Yeah, I just got a flesh wound. I launched these
I
torpedoes at a guy from like 10 kilometers away, and this destroyer like totally came in out of smoke and torpedoed me like right off the bat. And I just sat there, and like finally all of a sudden, torpedo hit, flesh wound. I love it.
I got you.
Oh, I didn't even get the guy who got me. I just got like some poor guy in a destroyer like cruising along who was like, "Oh, my destroyer just killed that destroyer. Thank God he saved me." And then like 30 seconds later, just bam, bam, bam. Got you. I love that. Like right when they're coming out from behind an island's a great time to shoot torpedoes. 'Cause
Oh,
then-
yeah.
yeah.
Gift packages.
I would definitely like the island hop. Destroyers are just the best because like you can go into a battle and be like so out tiered. You can have like ships 3 or 4 tiers above you, and you can just still wreak havoc if with a good destroyer. They're definitely the funnest to play, I think.
Let the dogs out. One thing I keep forgetting is I unlocked a tier 5 skill, manual secondaries, and I forgot you have to actually control
Click on them. Yeah.
Oh, great! I'm doing it again.
And like if you have the tier 5, like the extra aircraft thing,
Mhm.
you gotta actually click on them too. Like I still have a Cleveland, a tier 6 Cleveland, and that's like my gunboat. Like that, I use this to take down airplanes. Like, because I'll just get into a match with the carrier and I'll just kind of follow around our carrier, and I'll shoot down 30, 40 planes because I have all the aircraft skills on that Cleveland. Like my captain's
okay,
like a
yeah.
tier 5. Yeah. He's a tier 5, and like the aircrafts at tier 6 aren't that good. Like, so I just like mow them down. I have all the captain skills, all the upgrades on that ship. But yeah, if you got the captain skills, the manual fire control for AA armament, that one you actually got to click on them.
That's kind of hard if they're moving around. I heard what you can do though is go into that map mode, the navigation map, and then you can do it from there too.
And before they did the nerf, there was another AA like bonus. I can't remember what it was, but then the Cleveland was like just super boss. Like it was like even better. And then they totally nerfed just the Cleveland. Like in that one update, I read what it was like all about, and they totally nerfed the Cleveland, like just that specific ship because it was just so overpowered.
It
Like
is.
It started so many fires, and like aircraft couldn't even get within like. I think my range on this is like, what is it like on aircraft? Let's see. Okay, 7.2 range, and then when I click on that AA ability, I think that extends out to like 10. Like, so.
Oh, get him, get him, get him! Yes! He didn't die, though. Damn it. There was like a parked destroyer against the island. I'm like, oh my god! Give him all the shells. Oh, he's still backing up. I think he's running. Shit. Oh, eat all those torpedoes. Yes.
What ship are you playing?
Iowa. It wasn't my torpedoes. It was somebody else's. I just watched this Bismarck get cut in half, though. That's always a good thing if you're on the other side. No, don't turn! I got stew on the pot. That's why I got back so quick. I have to wait for it.
Ooh, stew. You know what I ate for lunch? I ate a Klondike bar.
Like breakfast of champions.
Oh no, it was lunch. It was left over from last night from movie night, and I was like, oh, there's a Klondike bar left. Like, I didn't even get one last night. Nope. For breakfast, I had apple pie and leftover ham.
That sounds like a winner. I'd do that.
Like, I'm still eating like leftovers from Thanksgiving. Like, I had so much ham left over that my girlfriend like made all these different dishes, like casseroles and stuff, for dinner for the next 4 nights out of the ham.
Sweet.
And there's still like a sack of ham in there for sandwiches. Like it was a huge ham, and like. Oh. Wait, what am I doing?
I can't gauge how fast that guy's going.
Oh.
I hear torpedoes.
I love doing that. The suicide run. There you go. He ate my torpedoes. I ate his.
Damn. I could take out this parked Pensacola, but I got to deal with the dirt pits right in front of me.
I don't like that turpits. I just don't like fighting it. It seems
The gun dispersion's kind of bad, but when it actually works, God, does it work.
They seem to like one-shot me a lot. Like,
oh, and a destroyer? Absolutely. Oh, I think I got him.
Even in a cruiser, I'll be like sailing along in a cruiser in like a Pensacola or something, and it'll one-shot me. I'm like, what the hell? Like, that thing's overpowered. Like it gets in like 2 shells on me, but it takes like my entire life because this seems to citadel everything.
Oh yeah, Pensacola's are ridiculously under-armored.
Yeah, I'm trying to advance that Pensacola. I want the next show. I'm trying to advance everything right now.
I hate playing that ship. I got to get through it though because I've had it for so long.
Yep.
I got to deal with Colorado in front of me instead of this Pensacola that's almost dead.
My favorite ship is this Isokazi, man. That thing is so badass. My captain's like tier 5 captain.
And they're hard to spot too. Shit. I thought that guy was going slower. Fuck. Oh God, no! Okay, apparently I hit that guy. Ah, torpedoes! Who the hell sent that shit at me? No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die! Yes! This thing is such a pig. You're gonna love the North Carolina. You're gonna hate the Iowa. Ooh, that was a good hit. Oh, let that be enough. Let that be enough. Yes! Citadel! Oh, that's shitty.
Okay, I'm back.
Need help?
Freaking phone calls.
Oh, he's healing. Fuck! I just got hit for 26 grand. Ow! Got him.
Ooh, look at that SP. That SP01. Those pretty wood grips on it. Now that looks classy. Like, it doesn't even... That just looks classy. I like that. It looks pretty good. I like that full-length dust cover.
Oh god, all the primary guns missed. Nice. Someone batted cleanup. Let's see how this one turned out. Oh, you got to see this. I got to screen share this one. All right. Check this after battle report.
Let's see here. 4 destroyed, 1 set on fire, 1 citadel, 2 defended, 2 captured, 1 shot down. 65 hits is 33. Oh, so you got in a lot of close quarter stuff there to have 33. To have 33 close quarters like your secondaries.
Yeah,
That's
at the
pretty
very
good.
end, there was New Orleans like 4 kilometers out. So I set the manual secondaries on them, and they just went nuts. Ooh, that was good enough for a first place finish, too. This is the part that hurts. When you get to tier 9, this gets expensive. The refit costs.
Yeah, you still made money though.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's why you have to that's why I keep 1 ship for every tier that I feel was like the best ship for that tier, you know? Like, or at least my favorite. Then I can just go, cash in on lower tiers.
I'm lazy, so I just run premium. Fuso. I think I got one of those too. Yep.
It's just my Fuso is not even upgraded. I'm working on it.
It's an unhappy baby.
I like this Mitsuki too. Not as much as the Isokazi, but the Mitsuki is pretty good. I think my detection range on the Isokazi is like 5.3 kilometers. And my torp range is 7. So as long as I'm like 6 kilometers away, I know I can launch torps. So I just try and they still can't see me. So I try to stay just 6 kilometers away, launch torps. And I love matches when I'm the destroyer and there's no carriers, because the planes spotting me is what really does me in,
I think dumping torpedoes doesn't expose you, though. I think only the main guns do.
Yeah, no, so I don't fire my main guns at all. I never shoot my main guns on Chinese ships, Japanese destroyers. On Russian and Americans, I do. But on Japanese, hell no. On Russians, I barely shoot my torpedoes. Russian ships, I just straight out just gun with.
I'm going to see. Yeah, I tell people this is the Fuslo. Great gun range. Crap everything else. Speaking of gun range, I bet they're open today. I should go do that after I eat. Did you not load in? This guy's timing his turns. He knows my reload time. You can keep that Cleveland honest. I'll stick to this North Carolina. Shit, I'm about to eat torpedoes, aren't I? Thank God their fucking carrier's garbage. Oh, I'm not gonna make it to that smoke in time. It's gonna suck. The belt armor took all of it.
Oh my god, he dodged all my torpedoes. Let's have him on fire. Burn, baby, burn. Oh, I got a torpedo hit in. Oh, I got a second one in. Goodbye.
Oh, you're still alive.
Yeah.
Go find that damn carrier who keeps trying to drop torpedoes into me.
I am. I just wanted to finish off those 2 battleships.
Fuck, back up! No! Oh, the smoke's wearing off anyway.
Turbo boost activated. Let's go.
Oh, I'm dead. Here comes the Torbs. Oh, he's got fighters on top of him. Thank God.
Dude, like everyone's still alive on our team. You see that? Like, and they're down to like 5 ships. Like we just like have wiped them out.
Oh, son of a bitch. He hasn't even been lit yet. He's obviously down at like J10 though. There he is. I'm gonna get this fucker before I die. What happened first? Will I die or will that fire go out? Set his decks on fire if you can. Then he can't launch planes.
Yeah, as soon as I get him in range, like he's still way out of my range.
Oh God, he's got another flight out. Fuck.
Like I got turbo boost on, flying towards him, man, 40 knots.
I'm dead.
But he. Trust me, I'll set his shit on fire as soon as he's in range. But he's also flying too. Straight away from me.
This is a tier 8 battle, right?
Yeah, or no, I'm tier.
No, I mean, look at the rest of the
I'm
team.
tier 6. Oh yeah, like everyone else is like 8s and 7s. Oh, he turned. That's gonna help me catch him.
Shot down 10 of his planes, but those Ryujos have buku flights. I don't think he has any fighters. I think it was 2 dive bombers and 3 torpedo bombers or something.
Shit, he just landed him right now. I'm trying to catch him. Come on, go faster.
Oh, is he out of your gun range?
Yeah, like he hasn't even been. I haven't even taken one shot at him because he hasn't been in my range yet. His carrier's fast.
Short guns.
Yeah, my gun range is only like 7.5 kilometers, man.
There's a skill to increase your gun range below a certain caliber Destroyers, they get that skill, and it works on their primary guns because they're under that caliber. I think it's a tier 2 skill.
Oh, I Citadel'd him. I Citadel'd him one shot. I took one shot at him. First shot was a Citadel. Are you kidding me?
He's almost in your torque range, isn't he? We pointed out. We won. Well, that was worth 195,000 credits. That's not bad. No kills, 10 planes. No cap.
I actually started a bunch of fires for a destroyer because I wailed on that one battleship because he wasn't even looking at me. So I just kept shooting torpedoes and shooting at him. I love it when a battleship's just like completely so focused on one target. You can just sit there and just pretty much just wail on them and not even miss. Hit every shot.
Let's just try to get through this.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I hate that thing.
Yeah,
Miserable shit.
I hate it too. I like the Cleveland so much better. Like the Cleveland really is like twice the ship.
Oh yeah. I heard they might actually move Cleveland up to tier 8. Use a later outfit for it, and then move everything else down or shuffle it or something like that.
Yeah, that would probably be more appropriate. Because even after the nerf to Cleveland still is a good ship. Like I was afraid it was going to suck, and it's still badass. Like I take that into battles with tier 8 ships and wreck shop.
It's essentially just a tier 6 Atlanta. Just massive fire starter.
And great great AA, you know, like planes don't stand a chance. Like if you have the skills, planes are just, it's great. For a tier 6 ship, it's absolutely phenomenal. Like I've shot down like 30, 40, 50 planes in one game. Like, you know, it's when you're playing against 2 other aircraft carriers and they're just like, oh, we're going to send all of our planes to you. And you can take down a whole squadron of planes in like 5 seconds.
I think the most I've ever seen was I think it was a guy in a Midway tier 10 carrier. Shot down 119 planes.
Damn.
Because he went all fighter. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, I think the most I've shot down is like 52 in the Cleveland. But that's still a lot, like a ton for a tier 6.
Yeah, it's practically the other side's entire outfit.
Exactly. I think I figured it out one time, and I think the average aircraft carrier I face only has like 70 planes. So like, so shooting down 52 of them, it's like, yeah, okay. I wiped out your whole thing.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid of A.
I'm going to slow down, dude. I'm going to let some of these other guys come up behind us and let them come out, be the punching bags.
Yep, I've already half throttled this.
Yeah. Oh, there's a
fighter squadron.
Pop.
We should get a little closer. I'd use that AA skill. Oh, look who's come screaming up the middle. Oh God, there's an Atlanta out there. I know that spread a shot. That's probably 2 Atlantas, both of them. One of these days, I'm gonna get off my ass and buy that thing.
Oh shit.
It's all right. It'll buff out.
I was like trying to help shoot down all these fighters for our buddies over here.
All right, I got the AA skill on now because we've got
Yeah, so do I.
torpedoes and everything coming.